perfect new roof with modern ventilation systems and high-tech attic insulation. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. And the PJ Fitzpatrick team of experienced professionals installs most roofs in just one day. Set up a free design consultation this month to save thousands during their summer sale. Visit trustpj.com today. That's trustpj.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Wednesday, July 26th, Hump Day. It is indeed Kayal and Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and streaming live for your video viewing pleasures on YouTube. As we head until 10 o'clock this morning, 855-839-1210, the phone number. Twitter and Instagram at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, K-A-Y-A-L. Dawn Stenslin with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, our associate producers. Loaded show today. All sorts of goodies to delve into. Dawn, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great this Wednesday.
Gregory?
Yeah, buddy.
Still bearded?
Still bearded.
I
Yes.
couldn't see. I got the monitor in my face, but yep.
Yeah, still got the beard.
He's still bearded.
Yeah.
A bearded stalker is a good stalker.
My wife said to me last night, she goes, how long are you going to let this experiment go on for?
Is this the thickest it's ever been?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
I'm pro beard.
Are you?
Yes, I am. Pro beard.
I'm with your wife.
Oh, wow.
Shave it.
Shave it, okay.
Shave and behave.
Larry's a clean-shaven guy all the time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's blonde like Stocker.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So,
he probably can't
yeah.
grow facial hair like
Can't.
that. So, like, this is impressive for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, let's see how much I can let this go.
You know, it's like look, placing a bet on FanDuel. You win a few in a row, you let it ride.
Thank you. Exactly.
Exactly right, man.
Is it for a woman, Dawn? Is it
Scratchy.
Yeah. That's what my wife says all the time. So
Gives you a rash.
It can be scratchy for the guy, too. Eventually, some dudes are like, you know what, I got to bring it down. It's starting to itch. Some dudes can handle it, though.
How often do you trim yours?
I mean, I shape it up every 2 days when I shave my head, but I'll let it get a little bit thick, usually in the winter. But in the summertime, when it's going to be 97 on Friday, bring it down.
Yeah.
Bring it down. All right, we got a lot of good stuff to get to today. Terrible news yesterday in the world of health and sports. And, of course, people are raising the question again. That'll be the theme of the Big Take this morning. Jason Aldean continues to skyrocket. Bud continues to plummet. And the youths of today, the teens in this nation, apparently don't like America. So as I've said in the past, and this will apply to minors as well that hate America, if you don't like it, get the hell out. We'll get to that as we continue this morning. But before all of that, 6:05, let's get the news. Round number one, the great Dawn Stenslin.
And good morning this Wednesday, July 26th, 70 degrees. But I will tell you the timing of the impending heat wave, so get ready for that. We have in the news today, making national news, a local story. Hunter Biden, son of the President of the United States, Joe Biden, expected to plead guilty today to tax crimes And there are many stories swirling, depending on which spin you believe in the news today. But President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, is scheduled this morning to appear before a federal judge to plead guilty to 2 tax crimes and admit possessing a gun as a drug user in a deal with the DOJ, Justice Department, that is likely to spare him anytime behind bars. So a lot swirling around that story, and I know we'll talk about the details moving forward. In Philadelphia, we have 2 young men who were injured in 2 different shootings that happened within 2 miles of each other and 10 minutes apart in Philadelphia's Brewery Town and Strawberry Mansion neighborhoods. That happened last night. So we're talking 33rd Street and Poplar Drive. About 9-ish last night, 22-year-old man shot once in his back, once in his neck, rushed to the hospital where he is in critical condition this morning. And then before 9:30 last night, in another section of Philadelphia, another 22-year-old man shot once in his leg on 29th and Cumberland Streets. Police say he's in the hospital in stable condition. We have no arrests made, no weapons recovered in either of those shootings. And we have no word whether this was gang-related, drug-related, no motive, no suspects, nothing like that. Just word of 2 shootings in 2 different areas of Philadelphia.
Just another day in the wild, wild west.
I know.
Yeah.
And yet another SEPTA bus crashing in Philadelphia, this one striking a building. So we've got that going on. We've had recently a lot of SEPTA bus crashes or incidents.
Nobody can seem to drive a bus anymore, drive a train, fly a plane. What's going on with all these just like derailments and crashes? Is it like a distract? I think people are distracted. That's my theory.
These SEPTA buses, though, you like leaving here
Yeah.
in the afternoon, there's always a SEPTA bus that pulls over and
Yeah.
tries to pick people up. They don't even look. Like
No.
You pull up next to them, and they pull right out in front of
No,
you.
it's on us to pay attention to them.
Absolutely. They're like, I have a giant bus,
Yeah.
and I'm going to survive this, so, like, you do what you need to do.
Yep. Exactly
Like a
right.
manatee in a Florida waterway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Like the SEPTA buses are the great white sharks of traffic. They're like everybody else has just got to adhere to them.
Absolutely.
Montgomery County suburban police searching for armed robbers, 2 of them who they say targeted a local Wawa. It's pretty crazy. So this is Horsham, Pennsylvania. 2 guys enter the Wawa there on Welsh Road. Happened earlier, a couple weeks ago, but they're releasing some new surveillance images, which are quite crisp and clear, and a pretty terrifying situation for the Wawa employees. The suspects left out of the back entrance, according to police, but they did get away with a little over $500. That armed robbery happening just before midnight.
You said Welsh Road in Horsham?
Uh-huh.
I think I've been to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the way home from playing
big
golf one
Wawa.
day. Uh-huh.
And these kinds of issues, whether this one's in the suburbs, but in the city, we saw workers at Wawa's. That's why they limited the hours.
Right.
Some of them they closed up.
Right.
Because
Yeah, I was going to say, are there any Wawas that are 24 hours left?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, even in Bluebell, I think that one's done at maybe 1 a.m., and maybe they're only open that late until on Fridays and Saturdays, I think, for later, later weekend drunk crowd.
Yeah, so, but we all pay for this in essence. Especially if you work at an early morning hour and you'd love to go run in and get a little Wawa coffee. So,
Well, they won't get prosecuted. The excuse will be it's Hoagie Fest, so it's permissible.
well, this one's in Montgomery County, so I suspect
good.
Kevin Steele,
That's
who
true.
did your bike ride. I think
yeah.
I think that they will get.
Nice speech on Sunday, by the way, he gave before the
Yeah.
ride. Yeah.
So in Monco, and they're releasing some of the new surveillance video. We have to talk about this at some point. The true crime video, whatever you want to call about it, the ATV stuff that happened on Broad Street in Philadelphia. You can see these individuals.
It's funny you bring this up. The great Dave Madden, who trained me for the bike ride, unfortunately, when we got back to Philadelphia Sunday from Atlantic City, we got dropped off by one of our sales reps, our sales bosses, Rob, and I went into my garage and got my car and got out, went home. He went down 2 blocks and his battery had died. So he was down there till 5 o'clock, and as he finally got his vehicle back up and running, he sent me a video as he's on Broad Street at a red light, and the ATV's going by him for like 2 straight minutes. I actually have firsthand exclusive video cam surveillance here on my phone. I should send it to all the outlets.
I know, right?
I've been sitting on that.
That's crazy.
It's a bad job out of me as a reporter.
Yeah, really.
See, Dawn, this is why you just ramble into a mic.
You're not rambling.
Terrible journalism here. I should have broke this days ago.
We will talk moving forward as well about the flooding. Powerful storms moved through our region yesterday, and officials are assessing damage in Chester County, across the region, but Chester County, Pennsylvania, getting it the worst, I think. Powerful storms rolling through, and their PennDOT officials this morning inspecting damage to a bridge. This is along Route 322 and Downingtown Pike. Happened in the East Branch, Brandywine Creek, which reached major flood stage yesterday. So there are some road sections and the bridge closed for now. And across the region as well, I know some sports activities were canceled or delayed last night, which meant some of us didn't get home until really late. But, West Whitehall Township, police say they made 16 water rescues.
Wow.
Where these first responders had to pull drivers from their vehicles that were stranded in very high waters. We're just coming off of thinking about what happened in Bucks, which we've talked about, that tragedy in which five people's bodies were pulled out. They're still searching for the 9-month-old baby's body. I mean, so they're saying, please don't think that you can drive slowly through that gushing water.
Yeah.
And that happened at the Exton train station. More rescues there with that water moving over the roadways. Officials closing Church Road in East Whitehall Township. Flash flooding there. So even though the water has receded in most places, there might be some barricades. There might be some water left on the roadways. And they're saying this morning, please heed, if there's a barricade, please don't drive through it.
And as Hillary Clinton has said, this is because of climate change, and we can blame MAGA Republicans for this, by the way. So,
well, whatever. If you want to blame Hillary or climate change or Mother Nature.
But let's not bury the lead here. Dawn's on short rest this morning, folks.
Oh, boy.
Dawn didn't get in till late last night. That's the lead here.
Her audience of one, as usual.
I got you, Dawn.
Thank you, baby. Hey, Phils. Woohoo! They got her done.
Yeah, wow.
Right?
Bryce
Harper,
baby.
Best team in the American League right now.
Yeah. Get the third game today and take the series. Let's go.
So we win 4-3. Phils, we're looking for a sign. We got the sign, and it's a lovely thing. So, yeah, Bryce Harper, I think, he's coming off of that surgery.
Yep.
So he's got, getting it together. So
that top half of the lineup needs to start playing like they're capable of if they're going to make a run.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So, Phillies, if you're listening, Nick Kayal's message for you.
Yeah. The guys that are getting paid lots of money, do your job.
Yeah. Imagine that.
So we do want to talk about this forecast because we have heat advisories coming out this morning. So we won't see a nice, refreshing day until Sunday, which will be 83 beautiful degrees, and it will feel like a breath of fresh air for sure on Sunday. Until then, heed these warnings. We still have some flash flood warnings in effect, heat warnings coming into effect in some parts of our region. So be safe today as we look through the day. So today we're looking at 90 degrees, but with the heat index, as it heats up, it's feeling like it's much hotter because of the level of humidity. Tomorrow we're looking at 95, heat index of 101. Friday, and I know Nick is going to be out and about on Friday afternoon. Your temperature on your phone may say, mid-90s. It'll feel like 105 degrees for your Friday afternoon, bright and sunny, okay?
It'll be so hot that your iPhone will actually shut off because it's too hot outside.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So that's a message.
If
That's a
it feels like
sign.
it's 105, isn't it just 105?
No.
Stupid.
I don't know how it works.
I hate science.
I'm not a
This
meteorologist.
is why I'm a math guy.
I'm not a meteorologist. We're just regurgitating what the NBC 10 First Alert forecast tells me. And Saturday's much like Friday, so another hot, humid, sweaty, sweltering day.
Like, what if I say, it only feels like it's 87?
Yeah.
That's my truth.
Fake weather news. Oh, man.
How does that sound?
I love
great.
it. And that is our Kayal & Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:14, Wednesday, middle of the week. Let's get to another big take.
The Big Take on Kayal & Company.
The big take this morning, calling the COVID vaccine into question. I believe that every American has the right to question anything that the big institutions say and do in the United States of America. From government to big tech, big pharma, academia, media, and every other entity, you have the right to be critical, curious, and skeptical, especially after the last 3.5 years. Sometimes free thinkers, which I feel is a far more suitable label than conspiracy theorist, end up being correct. Other times, free thinkers are dead wrong and look silly. If you believe everything the establishment tells you, then I think you are a sheep and a sucker. But the truth is, two things can be true at once, and it's not always black and white. Life is lived in the gray area for the most part. Yesterday, we had awful news that NBA superstar LeBron James' son, Bronny, went into cardiac arrest during a practice on Monday at USC, where he will be playing college basketball this upcoming season. The 18-year-old now in stable condition and is out of the ICU. However, cardiologists have warned him that his basketball career could be over. Now, as this news broke on Tuesday morning after Kayal and company, we had what I like to call the typical rush to judgment from the same usual suspects on social media. Was it the COVID vaccine? Oh no, another clot shot victim. Some in the media were bold and immediately blamed the COVID-19 vaccine. Others were more passive-aggressive, pondering and posting the question of why are so many young people that are healthy, seemingly, dropping out of whatever they're doing due to heart issues. Me personally, heart issues are something that I think of. My grandfather was a boxer, 46 years old, in great shape, dropped dead of a heart attack when my father was 13 years old. Nobody saw it coming. My father passed away in part because of heart issues, and he had a bypass for a blocked artery when he was in his 50s and died at 60. My grandfather's presumably a genetic defect. My father's genetics, poor dieting, lack of exercise, the common stuff. In 2018, I was diagnosed, as I've said on the air, with SVT, which is a form of an irregular heartbeat. Now, I was at a very minuscule chance of having a heart attack. I didn't even know I had anything wrong. But I ended up getting a cardiac ablation to fix what they called electrical wiring defect in my heart, and I've been fine ever since. But I know if I don't take care of myself, plus family history, I could be, much like many people, victim to a cardiac issue. I got the first 2 COVID shots when we knew very little about the shot and very little about the virus. Knowing what I know today, I would probably pass on getting the shot. I mainly got it to protect others once we were sold that bill of goods. Won't fall for that again. That being said, I think it's a multi-layered conversation when it comes to the news media and social media cycle that we go into every time a young, healthy celebrity has a cardiac episode. Not every person that has heart issues is having this because they got the COVID-19 shot. But it is fair to wonder why the rise is happening. Is it just more media focus on some of the high-profile cases? And is it fair game to talk about when it's a public figure? Rights to privacy, HIPAA, all on the table for sure. In regards to LeBron James' son, Dr. Christopher Tanayan told DailyMail.com, quote, if they find something that puts him at a high risk for sudden death, then that may make or break his career. The New York-based sports cardiologist said that a large proportion of cardiac arrest cases in athletes are caused by a condition known as hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which predisposes the heart to abnormal rhythms. He said if the cause is found to be hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, then Bronny's career could be on the line because this puts him at a high risk of sudden death. Now, whether or not Bronny's career can continue will depend on his family, the league, and ultimately his own appetite for risk. That according to the doctor. Now, this is not the first time we have seen a high-profile athlete go down with a heart issue. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin suffered a devastating hit on Monday Night Football. We talked about it on this show. It was sustained by T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals, and essentially, he died on the field before being resuscitated. Social media immediately went right to the COVID-19 vaccine as the culprit, ultimately and only to be wrong, as Hamlin was diagnosed with commotio cordis, which is an extremely rare consequence of blunt force trauma to the heart at the right speed, at the right angle, and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's happening to non-athletes as well. We've seen Jamie Foxx, the actor. Now, we still don't know what exactly he was dealing with, but many people have their theories despite his insistence on privacy. And it's happening to musicians. Musician Tori Kelly just collapsed and was rushed to the ICU over the weekend after doctors reportedly found blood clots in her lungs and legs. According to media reports, the pop star was rushed to the hospital on Sunday night after collapsing shortly after complaining that her heart was beating rapidly. Friends immediately drove her to Los Angeles Hospital, where she was placed in the ICU in serious condition after reportedly being out of consciousness, quote, for a while. This happening just days after another athlete was dealt terrible news. Cleveland Browns wide receiver Marquise Goodwin was found to have an alarming amount of blood clots in his legs and lungs. That follows the heart attack death of 28-year-old basketball player Oscar Cabrera Adams in June. And last year, former Arizona Cardinal defensive end J.J. Watt announced that he had to receive atrial fibrillation on his heart after it started beating erratically. Myocarditis is another term that has been used in the last few years when it comes to heart conditions in the COVID era. In Australia, they're now going to stop reporting on myocarditis cases related to the COVID-19 vaccine. But as I like to say, facts matter. And it's not what you think or what you know or what you allege. It's what you can prove. According to a story on today.com, young people are more likely to die of heart attacks post-COVID, a study finds. But the question is, why? Why is that happening? A recent study found that heart attacks in people ages 25 to 44 increased by 30% compared to the expected number over the first 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's a little snippet, a feature that was done on today.com about the rise in heart issues for young, healthy people after being infected by COVID, and also the link to the vaccine and heart issue side effects. Take a listen.
So why the spike in heart problems along with each pandemic wave? Dr. Susan Chang, a co-author of the Cedars-Sinai study, is concerned about the COVID connection.
There are a lot of things that COVID can do to the cardiovascular system. It appears to be able to increase the likelihood of blood clot formation. It seems to stir up inflammation in the blood vessels. It seems to also cause, in some people, an overwhelming stress that can also cause a spike in blood pressure.
Experts are still working to figure out why young people are so impacted. But Dr. Chang says it may be related to higher viral load exposure or an excess immune response in stronger immune systems. Studies show COVID-19 is also linked to a rare condition called myocarditis, the inflammation of the heart muscle itself. It can strike even young, healthy students like Demi Washington, now a senior on the women's basketball team at Vanderbilt University.
I just immediately started crying.
After Washington came down with what felt like a mild case of COVID in late 2020, an MRI revealed unseen damage and stopped her from playing.
And the fact that I could have played is kind of, hard and scary to think about.
She's now recovered and back to focusing on her rebounds. Washington's health scare came before she got vaccinated. Still, some have pointed to rare instances of the vaccine causing myocarditis. Health experts say the virus itself is much more dangerous to your heart.
Adults between 45 and 64 saw a 19.6 relative increase percentage-wise in heart attack deaths. And those 65 and older saw a 13.7% relative increase. That according to a press release from Cedars-Sinai Hospital. The increase in U.S. heart attack deaths continue through the Omicron surge, even though the variant is thought to cause milder illness. And spikes of heart attack deaths have aligned with the timing of COVID-19 surges in the U.S. That according to today.com and that story and audio we just referenced. The fact of the matter is this: heart issues from COVID, heart issues from the vaccine, usually very unlikely, statistically speaking, if you believe in percentages and odds and probability. But we are seeing a rise in cases, that is for sure. In my opinion, rushing to judgment on Twitter every time these stories pop up and playing the blame game is foolish. But then again, I never would expect nuanced conversations to take place on social media, because the reality is gray area doesn't generate clicks and mentions. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, your thoughts, reaction, 855-839-1210, the phone number if you want to climb aboard, 855-839-1210 on Twitter and Instagram, or if you want to call it X at 1210WPHT. And, of course, the Kayal and Company comment community on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT, click the like and subscribe buttons, and you will be involved in the show. We'll come back, get everybody's thoughts on this. On the other side, Kayal and Company, Wednesday morning. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the new electric XC40 lease for as low as $487. An absolutely fabulous offer, $487. No sales tax for New Jersey residents. Monies due at signing are license fees and the first month's payment only. This is an incredible offer. Considering the electric XC40, now is the time. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo online or in person for a great selection. Our team looks forward to seeing you very soon.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Hurts gives it off and keeps it and rolls down to the 2. And is he in? Yes! He let it go and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Josh Sweat. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Josh Sweat. Deep down the far side, and it is A.J. Brown. He steps up, he's hit, he fumbles the football, but I think he has it. Nope. Now the Eagles have it. That'll be the game. He breaks away at the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Miles Sanders, touchdown. Wow. He is firing the football, and it is caught by DeVonta Smith. Great catch. Attention, air traffic control. A flock of Eagles is heading to Arizona.
Sweet memories. Last season was so much fun, and I believe this season will be even better. If you want your business to be part of this season's Eagles Radio Network highlight reel, email advertise@94wip.com for information. More great action is quickly approaching.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. Talk to your cardiologist today. You may be glad you did.
John was compensated for his time. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Bring on the summer heat with huge savings when you replace your old inefficient windows and doors with the great people at Guida Door and Window. Right now, Guida is offering the best discounts of the year with their big 40% off summer sales event on all expertly installed windows and doors. Have drafty windows you've been meaning to replace? Well, receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all high-performance, energy-efficient triple-pane windows. In need of new doors? Well, Guida's got you covered there as well with 40% off all high-quality entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, you can start your project with no money out of pocket and pay it off interest-free for up to 12 full months. Don't let these incredible savings pass you by. Go Guida right now so that you can take advantage of these limited-time savings. All prior sales excluded. Offer expires July 31st, so call Guida today. Schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
DuckDuckGo is a browser like Chrome, but it blocks trackers, so it helps stop those creepy ads from following you around. And DuckDuckGo comes with a private search engine like Google, but it doesn't spy on your searches. And there's no catch. It's free. Join the tens of millions of people taking back their privacy and download DuckDuckGo today.
Beach or barbecue. Listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT anywhere. Just download the free Odyssey app. AUDACY.
Kayal Company, 6:30 as we continue Wednesday morning Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, 855-839-1210. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, the Odyssey app. If you can't get us, you're not trying in some way, shape, or form. A lot of commentary yesterday. Probably the biggest story in the news yesterday. LeBron James' son suffering a cardiac arrest episode on Monday, presumably at USC for, I'm thinking, preseason basketball camp before the season gets going. And immediately people start having questions. And I think a lot of it is absolutely fair game, even though none of us, at least presumably none of us, are experts in the field unless there's an immunologist out there listening to the show this morning, which we will get to that story about Jefferson University coming up in a little bit as well. But I want to get Dawn and Greg's reaction to this yesterday. Dawn, I believe this broke within the time frame of your show yesterday.
Yeah, so I had reported on it, just that he had been rushed to the hospital. Thank God he's okay. But, these heart issues are more. My dad at one point had been diagnosed with an irregular heartbeat. Or, in other words, the rhythm is more than 100 beats per minute, right? And so he's 88 years old.
Yeah.
But if you look at, even the SVT, which you talked about, and I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
But lifestyle matters.
Mm-hmm.
So think about my dad. He doesn't drink alcohol. He doesn't smoke. He quit all that stuff. And he's 88 years young, and he's totally with it, goes for his walks, dates ladies at church, you know what I mean? Because he's a widower and they're widows. So, lifestyle does matter too. But I think that it's well put that, COVID, like a lot of viruses, can lead to things like heart problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. We've seen this skyrocketing of cases, and this was before the vaccination was available.
Mm-hmm.
And these cases of things like very rare diseases like type 1 diabetes, they believe COVID, which is in its original form, especially serious virus, but that it can trigger other things, be a factor with creating a situation, like a rare but very tough disease.
And I was thinking about not just my past heart issue, but just yesterday with this story, because a lot of times you might have a heart issue post-COVID or post-COVID shot, and you have no idea until that heart episode goes into effect. So I haven't had my heart checked in 5 years since I had the procedure, because it went perfectly and it was, as is. And like, okay, everything's rewired properly and you're back on track. But unless I would go have an episode or go to the doctor for a checkup, I could have some sort of inflammation right now and be asymptomatic and not even know it. You just don't know.
Going back to the Bronny Jones or James story, is it? I always struggle with this because you do see a lot more stories about young, healthy kids, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, having either dropping dead or having cardiac issues. Is it that we're paying attention more to it?
Yep.
Or is there really a spike in it? I mean, that study that you quoted wasn't that was there is more of a cardiac issue with younger people.
Yeah.
So the stats do prove that it is happening. But it does seem that it does happen more often than it used to.
Right. And I think it's because we live in a social media bubble where, one high-profile case gets recirculated 28 million times by 14,000 different pundits, and, it becomes a big talking point. And, the cases, we gave you those numbers, they're certainly up. Now, from like a percentage standpoint, if it goes from the likelihood of a heart issue pre-COVID versus post-COVID, if it goes from 1% to 3%, that's an increase. But, at the end of the day, risk assessment. That's how I determined how I was going to continue to live my life during COVID. Once I realized that there's a 98.2% chance that I won't die from getting COVID, I said, well, the odds are pretty much in my favor. And that's kind of the way I operate moving forward with all this type of stuff. There's risks to everything, but not everything is linked to what you presume it is. Now, I thought Elon Musk was fair yesterday with his comments on social media, on Twitter and X, and he got ripped for it. But I'm going to defend him because I don't think he said anything remotely out of line. Elon Musk yesterday saying, quote, "We cannot ascribe everything to the vaccine, but by the same token, we cannot ascribe nothing. Myocarditis is a known side effect. The only question is whether it is rare or common." It's the first part that stands out to me. We cannot ascribe everything to the vaccine, but by the same token, we cannot ascribe nothing, which is, I think, a totally fair statement. And of course, he's being, roasted on his own platform.
Well, the minute you ask any sort of questions about anything, you're labeled. I mean, we saw this happen during COVID.
Yep.
You immediately brought something up and you're labeled a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Like, oh, you're one of those tinfoil hat type people.
That's correct.
But what's wrong with asking questions?
No, to me, if you're not curious all the time about everything, that's you. Maybe you're just aloof and you're like, I'm not going to worry about it. That's fine. Some people say it's a great carefree way to take on the world.
Yeah.
Others, especially after the last 3 years, where how many times somebody on one side of the ledger said something, was labeled a conspiracy theorist, and as I've said on this show, give it 18 or 24 months, and sometimes, if not a lot of times, it comes to fruition to be proven true. We're dealing with this here locally at Thomas Jefferson University here in Philadelphia, where Dr. Mark Tykaczynski, I think, is that how you, Tykaczynski? Mm-hmm. Okay. He has to basically resign after liking tweets that were critical of the COVID vaccine. And because he was liking tweets that were critical of doing trans surgeries on children.
This is ridiculous.
And I know you've reported a lot on this.
And I braced for it, and you knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a professor there.
Yeah.
But essentially, that he's being canceled out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at how many times he tweeted in his life, this is not somebody who's proficient on Twitter. But he had come out and apologized and explained and said that he never meant to trigger anybody. It was never supporting anything. But the point of it is, what is he, 70 years old?
He's a Yale-educated molecular immunologist. He's qualified.
An esteemed professor, an esteemed doctor. And so, look, if you have some issue in the hospital, do you want somebody who's politically correct on Twitter or a DEI hire?
No.
Or do you want
the best?
Want him?
Yes.
You want him,
right?
And so it makes me think twice about Jefferson, which is a shame.
I know,
because this is a great institution and a great hospital.
Yeah, it is.
Shame on them.
This is yesterday on The Blaze after coming under fire several months ago for liking tweets critical of COVID vaccines and trans surgeries for kids. Dr. Mark Tykaczynski has resigned as president of Philadelphia's Thomas Jefferson University. According to the CEO of Jefferson, he will now focus on his research and clinical translation efforts. This is outrageous that he even would have to apologize.
Yeah.
And even if he tried to explain, I liked the tweets to bookmark them, to go back for future reference, whatever. This censorship regime of punishment for having the audacity to question a rapidly created shot and the long-term harmful effects of transgendered surgeries on minors is so un-American that it's borderline ridiculous if you think about it. And I love how the Inquirer has to label it as, he was liking tweets amongst controversial topics. Who deems what's controversial in this lifetime? Like the Philadelphia Inquirer is going to tell you what's controversial or what's not. And I love, and this is more than just a university or a newspaper. This is an entire mindset of the left where they think they're the arbiter of thought. And they can tell you that you can only think one way. Because they love diversity in appearance, they love diversity in gender, sexual orientation, yada, yada, yada. They don't like diversity in thought. They want everybody to look different and all think the same. And who are they to sit there and tell you how to think, much less live your life? That's the thing that drives me nuts. Like you said it. This guy's 70 years old. He went to Yale, and he knows a thing or two about the subject, right? But if you're not Dr. Peter Hotez or Sanjay Gupta or Fauci or Rochelle Walensky, and you dare have a different medical opinion, professional, qualified opinion that doesn't align with their train of thought, you're the nut job, and you got to go. Mm-hmm. Imagine having a Decker. I don't know this guy from Bob type Kaczynski, but 70 years old, Thomas Jefferson University, Yale educated. He's got a title that I have trouble pronouncing. My guess is he's pretty smart and qualified.
Yeah, a man of integrity and a long career and a long history of working hard and highly respected. Yeah. And you never heard a thing that was negative about this gentleman, this doctor. And it's weird to me that the inquiry, this is a doctor, not like Dr. Jill, who's a PhD. Nothing wrong with that. If I ever get my PhD, you can call me Dr. Dawn. But my wife's a Philly girl. But I'm just saying, isn't it weird that they don't, in the Inquirer, call him Dr. Kaczynski? Isn't that weird?
He's an academic leader.
No, he's a doctor.
Who's the one who did who found that he was liking these tweets? Was it
Oh, we have exclusive audio. Oh my God, did you just say?
You see what Dr. Kaczynski liked and retweeted?
Okay, I'm at the coffee shop. Can you get me a triple venti non-fat latte with a shot of cappuccino? Oh my God.
Somebody needs to really dig deep into why somebody was paying that close of attention. That they even I have no idea. Maybe I should pay better closer attention to what you two like on Twitter.
Can we stop getting our news from Twitter?
But
or stop making news on Twitter.
But who is digging into
people that are miserable, that hate their life, that see other people that aren't miserable and want to drag them down?
He's the dean of the medical school. Who has time to look at your dean's tweets?
Yeah.
Who has time? You know who has time? Triggered certain students,
I can tell you,
who don't have a job and whose parents are paying their way, and they're counting. Oh my God! Look at him. He liked 5 tweets.
When I was in
he liked 5 tweets. Oh my God!
When I was
he's looking at trans kids. He's looking at that. That's what it is.
When I was in college in 04, 05, and 06, when MySpace became a thing, the last thing on my mind as a college student was, I wonder what my professor of criminal justice is posting on his MySpace right now. Imagine living in that world where you're worried about what a 70-year-old man is liking on Twitter as a highly esteemed and respected person in his field.
My whole point in this is that it does seem like a sort of coordinated effort to get rid of this guy.
Oh, yeah. And it circulates. And probably the other professors were flapping their gums. And who knows if it is political, if it's a bunch of left-wing professors. I don't know this.
That's my
This guy could be a conservative. I have no idea. It shouldn't matter.
That's my thinking, is that they were looking for a way to get something on this guy, and they scrubbed his social media. And I mean, I guess we could blame students with too much time on their hands, but it sounds very coordinated to me.
Greg, not just students, but fellow faculty.
Oh, petty runs in all categories.
Yeah, but I think that this is cancel culture. If you are in academia, and I've told you, I have friends who work in academia, and they shut it down and tell their spouses to watch what they post watch what they like, watch what they post on social media. They're not allowed to do that in academia.
You know what's amazing, too, is we all are of the belief, and it's a widely shared phrase, social media is not real life. Yet people like to tell people about how, social blah, blah, blah. It's like, stop worrying. Like, if I say it in a microphone, or I say it to your face, or I text it to you, it's not a big deal. But because it's sitting there on a page that's chronicled in a timeline, it's like World War IV. What are we doing here? Can we stop worrying about the social media stuff and just the miserable nature of human beings? That is the part of me, and I know nobody believes me. I really wish I was not on social media. If I didn't do this job and use it for my career, I'm dead serious. I would throw my laptop and phone in the ocean, and you guys would never hear from me again. I would just play golf and get sunburned and drink.
Yeah. And to Greg's point about Mark Kaczynski, it was coordinated in the sense that they leaked it to the Philadelphia Inquirer, and the Philadelphia Inquirer since May has been like this story, like a dog on a bone.
Yep.
They've been all over it. Mark said he did this. He came out in, what was it, May, I report. He apologized, said he never meant to disrespect anybody. But these were tweets that had been critical of COVID vaccines, gender-affirming surgery, college. He didn't say anything.
No.
He just pushed the like or the bookmark.
But he works in a profession that is predominantly left-wing. I mean, we know that colleges and universities and these all big institutions, they're predominantly progressive or liberal people. And when you stick out like a sore thumb like that, then he becomes a target, which is sad.
People get, it's just the world we live in right now, and that's why I caution both of you and Rich and Dom and everybody here about what you post or what you like or what you do on social media, because unfortunately it's the world we live in. You wouldn't think that a guy like this would have a target on his back, but what we do here, we all have targets on our backs.
Oh my God!
So people are just looking for a reason to cancel us, to cancel this show, to cancel 1210 WPHT. So you have to be careful because, yes, unfortunately it's the world we live in, that one bad tweet or one thing you like on social media can get you fired.
Yeah.
But Greg, it's par for the course in what we do. When you are a medical professional like Mark Tykaczynski, Dr. Tykaczynski, and you have dedicated your life to research, to curing diseases or mitigating or treating diseases, and you are now teaching students how to do this. As a person who's all about the cure and healing others, I would say it's a sin. And they want to shame this guy. Why don't they just make him go naked through Philadelphia? Shame, like Game of Thrones.
Put him in Kensington and have him take some trank. He's a deplorable.
And now, and just, what was it, day before yesterday, we were, they are reducing their workforce by 1%, 400 jobs. They're having layoffs. There's another story in the Inquirer today about them with money issues. So why don't they focus on running the business? One of the largest health systems. Why don't you focus on running the health system?
But I'm cognizant of who I work for and what Greg says about social media stuff. I mean, we're a free speech station, but we're also owned by a publicly traded company.
Absolutely.
And this is not like I'm Tucker Carlson or I'm not Glenn Beck and I own my own company, The Blaze. I work for an employer, so while I have pretty much free reign to say a lot of things, I also have to be aware of, at the end of the day, if somebody high above sees something they don't like, I could be subjected to discipline.
Navy Prepper on YouTube says, "Stalker the corporate shill." Look, I'm just giving the other side. That's all I'm saying. It's the reality in corporate America, which you just said. And yes, you don't expect it from this. I understand what you're saying, Don. You don't have to jump down my throat. I'm on your side on this. All I'm saying is that it is when you work for a company like that, you are under rules and regulations that if they find something they don't like about you, they can get rid of you. It's just the reality of life.
But what they don't like about him, and let's not mince words here, what they don't like about him is that they fear that he supports anything that is Republican or conservative. This man, if he could prove who did this, in my humble opinion, this could go to the Supreme Court. He has a lawsuit.
But also
they're demoting him,
right?
Because they fear. We don't even know what his politics is,
right?
But I suspect that maybe he leans conservative.
I think most people that question this stuff do that, but I do think there are examples. My aunt and uncle that live in Delaware. I told you about my right-wing / left-wing uncle, where he's right-wing on some issues and left-wing on others. He is very much a progressive in a lot of categories, but he's a free speech guy, and he also wants nothing to do with the vaccine, a lot like RFK Jr. So I don't think it's even one of these things where it's always Republicans or it's always conservatives. I think there are people on the other side as well when it comes to COVID and the vaccine that are like, I'm not running to get this shot that was rapidly created. Tucker Carlson just dropped another episode last night with Ice Cube, and Ice Cube did not get the COVID vaccine. He said, I'm not taking something that they just came up with 6 months ago. So I don't even think it's necessarily 100% of the time political. I think it's just being willing to think critically and make a decision for yourself.
I mean, and that's what he said, that he was bookmarking them to look at them, and in no way did he think he was endorsing anything. But the truth is that there's no question in my mind that this is a form of discrimination.
Yeah.
And so if you are a conservative, if you are perceived as a conservative or a Republican, and you have a big job, you're a target because they want to go after you. That's discrimination. It's a violation of your First Amendment rights. And I'm not an attorney, but if this guy wanted to sue, I certainly think that he has a big lawsuit that he could say he was publicly shamed in an otherwise distinguished career.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because he pushed a heart button or a bookmark button, never said a word.
That's always been the silly thing about Twitter to me. I've seen people actually put it in their profiles saying retweets and likes are not endorsements. And they use that almost as like as their personal disclaimer to say, hey, I might click the like button on something that you are going to be offended by, but I don't necessarily approve of the message. I'm using this as a way to stockpile it and go back to it, which is why I don't do some of that
That's
stuff.
what he said.
Because I just email the link to myself like a maniac and then print it later and make Valdez get it. Because I don't want people to say, oh, you like this, you must mean this. And I'm like, no.
Aren't we the station, though, that always says that private companies should not be forced to bake cakes for gay couples if they don't want to? So it's up to the business. It's up to the corporation.
To discriminate? To discriminate because of his political beliefs?
Well,
it's discrimination, Greg.
I mean, you're discriminating against people because of their sexual preference, and you don't want to bake them a cake. What's the difference? A company has a right to, they can fire you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
If a company fires you because
that's what happened to me in Tennessee.
If a company fires you because they feel that you publicly endorsed something that they perceive that you are a conservative, you are a deplorable, and thus they are A, violating your First Amendment rights, and B, they are discriminating. That's discrimination. So it has nothing with
how is it not to?
Well, we get in the murky areas with the First Amendment when we talk about free speech because it's like government versus the employer.
Yeah, take that to the. Wait a minute.
No, take that
you're
to the.
conflating two issues.
I'm
the Supreme
not,
Court issue about the cake baker is about an artist who does not want to go and participate in something. Let's say you're a cake baker and Nazis say, "Hey, we're celebrating Go Hitler Nazis," and you say, "I'm a Jewish individual," or I'm not a Nazi sympathizer, and no, I'm not baking a cake for some Nazi group or some whatever racist group. That is about artists who have their protections. These are two very different issues.
Well, and hate speech is not protected under the First Amendment either. I mean, that's kind of a big thing. Like everybody thinks that they can say what they want.
When you're an at-will employee, again, let me say this for the 900th time. I'm not defending this guy being fired for this. I think it's horrible that this guy was fired for liking a tweet. I'm just giving the other side. I'm just saying that when you're an employee,
using a Supreme
you
Court
are an
debate.
at-will employee. They can fire you for whatever reason they feel.
But you're using a Supreme Court ruling that was an extremely narrow ruling that had to do with an artist who is not forced to go and perform something that they feel that is against their own doctrine.
Well, an employer also, too, if they really want to get rid of you, all they got to do is start a paper trail on whatever and then cite A, B, or C, even though A, B, or C might not be the reason they really want to fire you. If they want to get rid of you, they'll get rid of you.
Well, and to that point, that this guy, he was obviously pressured, but he was also publicly shamed, and they used, and shame on the Philadelphia Inquirer as well.
I know.
Shame on the Inquirer for doing that.
I hate that paper. I really do. I used to love that paper as a kid or as a teenager. Not anymore.
Well, they do.
It's just like the Washington Post, New York Times.
It's sad. They do such a beautiful job of covering community events, the museums. I love their articles about culture, about our great museums, the art scene, the music scene, the restaurant scene. They do a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that they put as quote-unquote news coverage are op-ed pieces.
Yes, exactly. The long-time heritage newspapers across the country with big circulations are now nothing more than a wing of the Democratic Party. That's all they are. That's all they are. And that's why you got to go to alternate sources, like Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. 855-839-1210, the number. So apparently 4 out of every 5 teenagers have zero pride in America. The study, the details, and what exactly is going on. We'll get to that hour 2 right after Dawn's news here on Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows.
Check out the Outlaw Music Festival with Willie Nelson at The Man August 5th. And see One Fine Day with Sting and Shaggy also at The Man September 9th. Check out Squeeze and the Psychedelic Furs live at the Met September 13th. Outlaw Music Festival, One Fine Day, Squeeze and the Psychedelic Furs. For tickets and info, go to livenation.com.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill. The energy bill, that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here to talk about my friends at Family and Company Jewelers in Marlton, New Jersey. You've heard me talking about them nonstop, but now is the time to pay them a visit. Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey. If you're shopping for the perfect engagement ring, look no further. They have the top 5-star rating on Google with over 2,000 reviews. No one else comes close to that. Get the right ring. A ring from Family and Company Jewelers. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Gerhardt's Appliances summer sale is heating up with your choice Samsung stainless steel refrigerator specials. If you can't take the heat, come into our kitchen and choose between a Samsung side-by-side with beverage center or a Samsung French door refrigerator. They are both only $9.99. This deal is so hot, it won't last. So hurry into the summer sale today, only at Gerhardt's Appliances. The heart of the kitchen for over 75 years.
Pennsylvania deer hunters, no more mailing in pink envelopes for antlerless licenses. Resident hunters can now purchase an antlerless deer hunting license online at huntfish.pa.gov or at any statewide hunting license issuing agent. Non-residents are able to purchase beginning July 10th, and DMAP licenses will be available beginning on August 14th. Visit pgc.pa.gov for all details or call 1-833-PGC-HUNT for more information. Thank you for being a Pennsylvania hunter.
Paid for by the Pennsylvania Game Commission.
If the market volatility of the past year has made you nervous about your retirement future, you're not alone.
So many people are waiting for the perfect time to retire. And those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
But that doesn't mean that it's hopeless. Jim Cipriotti has been helping people get to, through, and beyond retirement for over 20 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, now on Saturday mornings at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
More than 80 million Americans depend on AM radio each month for news, weather, and emergency information. A new bill in Congress would make sure AM radio remains in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Hit a home run of a deal with Dino and his team at Winter Ford. Lease a brand new 2023 Ford F-150 Super Crew or a 2023 Ford Bronco Sport for as low as $349 a month. Call 1-800-428-4000 for offer details. Visit in person or online at winterford.com. Winter Ford, people you trust, service and value you'll love.
Dust off those renovation plans and start designing that new kitchen of your dreams with some help from Colonial Marble and Granite. Colonial Marble and Granite is offering fully installed countertops for just $14.99 or an all-in kitchen for $6,999, including cabinetry, countertops, and sink and faucet package. You heard right, $6,999 all-in kitchen. Stop by a Colonial Marble and Granite area showroom to see their amazing selection of products or make an appointment for a free in-home consultation. Visit colonialmarble.net.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Lose weight and feel great with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into the radio show Sunday at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Parks Casino. Joe Conklin hosts national comedians every other Thursday. It's Joe Conklin's Comedy Night at Parks. Show dates and tickets. Go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, Quakertown. Tell your smart speaker play 1210 WPHT.
Kayal and Company, 7 o'clock, straight up on the dot. Hour 2 underway here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Like it, subscribe to it, comment on it. It's your platform. We're just providing the content. Dawn's news coming up in just a moment. Also, a epic cut sheet this morning. Joe Biden was on one yesterday, folks. Joe Biden was saying all sorts of outlandish stuff. If you've been paying attention to the news or maybe you've seen it on social media, he said some really crazy stuff, and you will hear that coming up at 7:45 this morning. Also, Jason Aldean continues to rise. Bud continues to plummet. And speaking of rise, now national media attention focusing on the rise of Vivek Ramaswamy as something that we've talked about a lot on this show, as we've been very impressed with his ascent inside the GOP side of things. So all of that on the way. And also this study where most young people are no longer proud to be Americans, according to a poll. We'll get to that and try to figure out why that is in just a few minutes. But before all of that, let's get round number 2 of the news. Dawn Stensland here at 7:01 on this Wednesday morning.
And good morning. Yes, this Wednesday morning, 70 degrees with a heat wave coming soon. We are sponsored this morning by Holland Floor Covering. So we have in the news this morning 2 shootings within minutes of each other in the city of Philadelphia, 2 miles within each other, and that was 10 minutes apart. Philadelphia's Brewery Town, Strawberry Mansion neighborhoods as well. The first shooting, 33rd Street and Poplar Drive. This was after the 9 o'clock hour. In this one, a 22-year-old man shot in the back and the neck. He's in critical condition this morning. And then about 9:15 to 9:20 last night, there was another shooting as well. And that 22-year-old man was shot in his leg, 29th and Cumberland. So Philadelphia police say they're investigating these 2 shootings happening late last night, as we don't have suspects, no weapons recovered at the scene. They're looking at different surveillance cameras for some images that can give them some clues with regard to this one. We have locally a concerning story in Delaware, in the suburbs of Delaware County. And this situation is a baseball coach, high school teacher as well, charged for sexual assault of minors. He's identified by Pennsylvania State Police as a 57-year-old man from Glen Mills, served as a teacher and coach at Chester High School. He is arrested and charged with multiple felonies involving sexual abuse of children, in this case, boys on his team. He's accused of corruption of minors and providing liquor to these children, as well as he's being accused of buying one of them a firearm in a straw sale, which, of course, would be illegal. So, wow. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, he'll be dealt with accordingly once he goes to the slammer, and rightfully so.
Yeah. So he's charged, a big announcement, and really shaking up, I think, a lot of people, across our region. So that story is going on. We have also locally, Hunter Biden heads to court. He's expected to plead guilty in this plea deal that we've talked a lot about to tax crimes. Obviously, the son of President Joe Biden expected to appear before this federal judge today. And I should mention that there's also an accusation he admitted possessing a gun while being a drug user.
Mm-hmm.
So this is this deal. We've talked about the details of it.
His attorneys are incredibly shady. Could you imagine if this was the other way around and the accusations were at Trump's attorneys as to how this would be playing out today and covered on the media?
So you don't think that if this were, Don Jr., that he, you think
his lawyers basically, I mean, the judge is basically telling, like, I mean, if it was Trump's lawyers would be disbarred.
Yeah.
They really would.
But the judge in the case, and here's the little and there's a lot swirling around this, and I know there was a lot last night, but U.S. District Court Judge Mary Ellen Noreika was appointed by then President Donald Trump and will preside over the hearing and must sign off on the deal.
Yep.
So prosecutors, the president's DOJ, and his prosecutors are recommending 2 years of probation, but the judge has to sign off on it.
Yep.
There were some last-minute antics. I know we'll get into that later. And the story of another SEPTA bus crash in less than a week. This is the fourth such SEPTA bus crash in less than a week, and we're looking at least one person injured in this one. So that's under investigation as well. And a lot of flooding last night, overnight, into the wee hours of the morning. The headline this morning from local officials: if you see barricades on a roadway, please don't go around them, because there were many rescues throughout our region yesterday and last night. And so they're saying, please respect those barricades. Officials are out. They'll remove the barricades if the roadways are safe.
Mm-hmm.
Some great news with our Philadelphia Phillies, scoring twice in the ninth inning. Bryce Harper looking good with a home run, beating the Orioles, which lead the American League in a 4-3 win. Game 3 is tonight, 6:05 p.m. Holland Floor Covering, the region's premier flooring dealer, family operated for more than 50 years and providing exceptional service, professional installation. Just visit their 2 showroom in either Wayne or Newtown. No charge samples, no obligation estimates. You can learn more, hollandfloor.com. We have the NBC 10 first alert forecast with warnings of this looming heat wave. Okay, so today through Saturday, it will feel like it's much hotter with this heat index, even though it's 70 right now. Heat advisory going into effect, excessive heat watch, and that is looking through Friday. Air quality alerts as well, and heat advisories.
Yeah, so the New York Times will have an article out probably by Thursday about wearing an N95 if you go out for groceries.
Does the N95 help with the particulates or what have you?
Who knows? They'll just publish another fear-mongering piece, that's all. That's all I know.
But I guess the poor folks in Canada, the Canadian wildfires continue. So
yeah, how would you like to be living up there for the last 2.5 months? Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah. Code orange in effect as we look at the NBC 10 first alert forecast and the daily forecast. So today through Saturday, we're in the stretch of the 90s. So they're saying, yes, in black and white, it looks like it's 91 today, 95, mid-90s Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But especially going into this evening and through the rest of the week through Saturday, the heat indices rising to 101 to 105 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
The feel-like temperatures.
It's funny you talk about this weather because before the show, when you were coming in, I was talking to Bill from the B Morning Show in the hallway, and he goes, hey, what are your thoughts of just playing 9 holes on Friday? I'm like, 9 holes? Why? You get somewhere to go? He goes, well, it's going to be 97, and it's going to feel like 105. And I'm like, it's going to be hot. I get it, and we're golfing, but I just did a 65-mile bike ride to Atlantic City when it was like 87 out. I think we'll be okay if we just walk and play 18 holes of golf. Just carry extra water and sunblock with you. And yes, I will adhere. I will put some sunblock on the nose this time, Dawn.
Good. You wear the hat.
Yes.
Gotta hydrate.
I always wear the hat when I golf. Absolutely.
Well, this is Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. Speaking of the bike ride, look who just popped up. How about this for timing? We've got our boy Wayne Bonfiglio, who was obviously a huge advocate for our bike ride this past week, and he wants to jump in. Wayne, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Nick. How's the legs feeling?
You know, they no longer feel like rubber. Monday morning, they were pure rubber.
All right, I got the bike back. It's in pretty good shape. It doesn't look like it took too much of a beating.
No, I didn't destroy it. I didn't have any flat tires. I didn't fall off of it. Everything was perfect.
Awesome. Hey, listen, I can't thank you for. Listen, leading up to it, everything you did, the good-natured, jabbing at you. You took it like a champ. I saw you at the third and the fourth rest stop, and those 15 miles between the two really took its toll on you by the time you got to Galloway. But you were a sport.
Dude.
You were a sport. You said hello to Preston. Preston's an icon with the bike ride. His mom and his dad and his family, they pedal him the whole way, and you were awesome, dude. You really were. I didn't see you at the finish line. I had a lot of little things we had to do, and
you were a very busy
trooper.
guy. You were a busy and a popular guy. Everybody wanted some of your time and attention at those rest stops, I noticed.
Yeah, I really enjoy that day. Everything comes, all the volunteers, all the police departments, the fire departments along the way that help out with traffic.
Yep.
It really comes together for an awesome event.
And wait, I got to tell you, I'm so impressed by the people that are actually carrying another human being along, like Preston is being pulled along in that little setting or whatever he's sitting in. I mean, I had a hard enough time just carrying myself 65 miles, and other people are dragging other human beings along.
Yeah, it's incredible what some of these people do. I didn't see him, but we have a guy that usually rides a unicycle.
I saw him as we approached Atlantic City. I thought it was a stunt. I thought it was a joke. He was riding a unicycle.
He's there every year. We have the people who lay on those recumbent bikes and are, their backsides look like they're dragging on the roadway. I mean, God bless them people for being that low.
Yep, absolutely.
So, but yeah, it was a great event, and we appreciate all you did for us, and we hope you're going to do it next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Greg will jump in. Maybe we can get Rich Zioli. Maybe we could put Rich Zioli on like a tandem bike.
Yes, Greg and Rich riding a bike together.
Yeah, no, there's zero chance I'm going to do that with him. So, Rich is Mr. Glass. He'll break something and be in the hospital for 2.5 weeks.
Maybe Mama Zioli could.
If he does the race, so I will. I'm committed that I will explore doing it next year.
I'll explore my options.
I'll explore my options.
I'll tell you what, Greg, if you decide to ride, we'll try to get you a bike, too. We'll get you a bike to use. You can train on it, and you can ride it also.
I appreciate that, Wayne.
So, but Nick, thanks again. You were, I said, you were a sport. Yeah, you were a real sport, and we'll come up. Maybe we'll share some bourbon with you on air one of these mornings.
I'm down for that any time of the year except for when I'm in training for the bike ride.
There you go.
All right,
there you go.
Wayne.
Well, Nick, thanks again.
You
Greg, Dawn, take care.
Thanks.
All righty.
There he is, the great Wayne Bonfiglio. Families behind the badges. Yeah, he was a popular guy. Everybody was begging for his attention. He's putting on the show, doing a song and dance. He's making jokes, an occasional curse word here or there. He's got the walkie-talkie out.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, it's a very well run operation. They've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
the people that run it, Mark, Wayne, all these guys are very close, and they know what they're doing.
He even gave people at the last rest stop. We had 10 miles to go. He goes, if anybody feels like they cannot do the last 10, we have vehicles here. They will escort you in secrecy to the finish line, and nobody will know about it. And I looked over at Dave Madden. He's like, don't you even think about it.
Were you tempted?
Yes. Yeah. If nobody would have known, yeah, probably. If I could pull it off. 855-839-1210. All right, let's get to this story about the Utes of America and how they are no longer patriotic. We'll do that on the other side, and you can climb in as well. 855-839-1210 is the phone number to be a part of the show. And it's interesting, maybe you're sitting here saying, all right, well, I'm going to get a little jump start on Kayal and Company and figure out what survey and what poll they're talking about. All you got to do is pull out your smartphone, download the DuckDuckGo app, and search for the story. And then you'll know exactly what we're talking about in 7 minutes, because DuckDuckGo it's a browser. It's like Chrome. It's like Google, but it's private, and it will block trackers. It comes with DuckDuckGo Private Search, which is like Google, but it will not spy on your searches. You can get it on any of the devices today, Android, iOS, Windows, Mac. So if you're a Samsung Galaxy person or an Apple iPhone, or you've got your laptop or your iPad or whatever it is available across every conceivable platform. You just go to duckduckgo.com, or you can download the app today. And they're an independent internet privacy company. They're not going to track you. You're not going to have spam and adware and all these pop-ups. And it'll even show you when you go from one site to the next, all the different blocked apps, all the different things that could have shown up had you have gone with Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever it is. And they say, nope, we got it taken care of. And oh, by the way, they're not on the West Coast. They're local. DuckDuckGo.com and download the app today.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-635-3311. That's 1-800-635-3311.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Get ready for a merry surprise because Rescue Natural Supplements is throwing their annual Christmas in July sale. That's right. The holiday season is making a summer comeback, and they're bringing the gift of huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. We're talking about savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and much more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Again, don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. Get savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for your highs and lows, from high blood pressure or cholesterol to low energy or testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. Hurry on over and unwrap the joy of a healthier you.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute, because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli, and if you want to make lifetime memories with your family, now is the time to book your summer vacation at My Happy Place, the beautiful oceanfront Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. Rooms are going fast. They have beautiful rooms, suites, and townhomes. Enjoy all the amenities of their indoor-outdoor pool. Grab some lunch, a frozen cocktail at the outdoor pool bar, beach service with chairs and umbrellas, cabanas, and food delivered right to your beach chair on the beach. The Oceanfront Grand Hotel is a wonderful place. Book your stay today, 800-257-8550 or grandhotelcapemay.com.
Hey Philly, are you looking for a great deal on a new Infiniti? Well, look no further than the Bush Auto Group. They have 2 Infiniti dealerships conveniently located in Westchester and Ardmore, PA. And this month only, you could score rates as low as 2.9% on select vehicles. And every vehicle purchase comes with over $3,000 in bonus value to help drive down the cost of vehicle ownership. Trust me when I say this, if you want to ride in style and save some serious cash, the Bush Auto Group's where it's at. Visit in-store or online today at bushautogroup.com, and remember, Philly rides with us.
Hi, this is Joe Meterchick, PNC Bank Regional President. When it comes to playing the game, every team has their why. Maybe it's for their legacy, the rush of a win, a championship ring. We at PNC Private Bank want to understand your why, your purpose. Once we understand it, We'll map out a personalized path forward to help reach your goals. Tell us, what's your why? PNC Private Bank is a service mark of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Hitting the pool or just lounging around? Take us with you. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Kayal and Company rolling on live here on this Wednesday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Free Odyssey app, YouTube. 855-839-1210. What's on the cut sheet is coming up at 7:45. Joe Biden was on one yesterday, and we've got the tape to prove it. Also, the rise of Vivek Ramaswamy, and Ron DeSantis has now gotten rid of has relieved more than 33% of his staff from their duties. So this is a big shakeup in the DeSantis camp, and it apparently keeps growing by the day, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
If you've been tracking that story.
It's imploding. Is he going to make it to Iowa?
Nick, you're ripping Ron. You're being so unfair.
I'm just, just reading the tea leaves, man. This is not
can't miss the tea leaves.
Yeah, this is not good.
Yes.
For him.
Yes, it's time to shake things up, and we'll get to that as we continue. I don't know what's going on with the youths of America. Actually, I think I do. I'll give you my theory in a moment. But so this study, and this story is from Axios. American patriotism has faced a steep decline amongst young adults over the last decade and now sits apparently at a record low. Pride in national identity is the lowest amongst those 18 to 34 years old and illustrates the fracture between young Americans and older generations at a time of deep partisanship in the United States. In the most recent Gallup poll, Americans 55 and older were nearly 3 times more likely to be extremely prideful of their nationality than the younger generations. Overall, 39% of U.S. adults say they are extremely proud to be American in the most recent poll. Meanwhile, only 18% of those in the 18 to 34-year-old age bracket, we'll call that the Dorenzo Valdez bracket, only 18% have said the same, compared to 40% of those aged 35 to 54, which is where Greg and I reside in, and 50% of those 55 and over. By comparison, just 10 years ago, in 2013, 85% of those people aged 18 to 29 said they were extremely or very proud to be an American. So just a decade ago, go back to 2013, think about where you were in your life, professionally, personally, age-wise, whatever. 85% of the youths or the young adults, 18 to 29, loved this country. That is 10 years later, that's gone from 85% to 18%. And here's my theory on this, and I want to get your guys' thoughts to see if I'm right or wrong or what your own theory might be. I think now more than ever, media, social media, and the Democrats, with fear, division, and hatred, have influenced and manipulated the youths at a very early age. And I would say the Democrats are third in that order. I really do believe you go on social media, and how many times do we play a TikTok video of somebody who just hates their existence, hates this country, is sitting there on their bed with their hair dyed 4 different colors saying how awful of a nation we are, and there's transphobic people everywhere, there's homophobic people everywhere, there's racist people everywhere. Every time you turn the block on the street and go around a corner, there's just hatred just spewing out of the sewers in cities. And then, of course, in the media, where the mainstream has alternate media outnumbered probably 8-1, all they ever do is talk about negative things in this country and hatred and all these awful things that certainly exist, but not at the level that the media likes to portray that they do. So I think this is fascinating because this is not like, hey, back in 1985, 85% of young people loved this country. This was just 10 years ago. This was the beginning of the second Obama term. A lot has changed, but in reality, has a lot changed? I think you could debate that. Any thoughts on this? Because to me, it feels like it is really a social media creation, which concerns me because young kids are always on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, and they're always just sharing these opinions that, to be honest, nobody was asking for. And that's your right. You share your opinions, but it seems to me like this is the social media era of making America seem like it's a very awful place to live. Which, in my opinion, look, like I've said, and this goes to these 18 to 29-year-olds, in theory, when you're 18, you leave your parents' house. I know it's offensive to say parents because not everybody has a mom and dad these days and people get in their feelings. But like when you're 18, you're an adult, you hate it here, I don't know, go move to Canada. Go drink a Molson and breathe in the wildfires. Go over to Europe. If you think it's better in Central America, go elsewhere. If you don't like this country, flat out leave. I'll never forget when I was working in sports radio about 12 years ago. One of the guys I was working with was just in a foul mood and hated his job. And my boss at the time literally came out of his office, the brand manager. We called them program directors back in the day. And he says, if you don't like it, leave. There's the door. Like this notion that we hate things but we don't leave or quit is fascinating to me because nobody's forcing you to work the job you have or live in the country that you live in. If you have free reign, go. You can find it better elsewhere, leave. Do you guys have any thoughts on this from the standpoint of the Utes?
I think part of it is social media and the self-centered nature of, and they're talking about ages 18 to 34. But on the other hand, they haven't traveled as much in COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is what's going on with America, social media, and the negative energy that social media creates.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, for most people 18 to 34, I don't know that they've traveled in the world or traveled the country like people did, and especially COVID shut that down as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you have a chance to live and to travel the world, travel the country, you realize that this great country and the world is a very large place and that we as Americans, we have it pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the more closed in, you think of the selfie is a symbol of, looking at like a parakeet, looking in that mirror all the time in a cage.
Pretty bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just being in a cage, looking at a mirror and pecking at the mirror.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of teenagers are doing. And then you supersize that with the pandemic closures, depending on where you were. And so I think if you're not happy and you're always looking inward, then how can you look out into the world and even feel blessed about anything?
Yeah. Well said.
Are they positive about anything?
Well, what's weird about this, too, is you have so many of these young people that weren't really, at least they say, they weren't bothered by the pandemic, and they had no problem staying at home and binge watching Netflix and swiping and scrolling on their smart device with their social media app of choice. Yet, I think over the last 3.5 years, if there is one group of people that have a legit gripe with this country, it's those that have been censored, those that have been labeled deplorables, those that all of a sudden, just because they voted for Donald Trump, get treated like they joined ISIS or something. Like, I think that's a legit gripe. Like, with the United States of America, you don't get mad at me because of who I vote for. Yet it's the left that is, in theory, and I think actually in practice, has never had it better. Who's that? Right now, like, all the marginalized communities from years and years and years ago, which certainly was wrong, they've got it better than ever these days. People get hired based on their identity, not on their merit. And you're complaining about that now in this country?
We're also teaching a generation of kids that America's evil, it's racist, it's sexist, it's homophobic, it's this, that, and the other. And people look at that, there's really been nothing, our lifetime, obviously, it was 9/11. And so there's really been nothing in our life in recent times that kind of brought everybody together as kind of a patriotic moment.
Right.
You think of after 9/11, the country came together.
It was awesome.
There was nothing, we're not at war. Well, at least we're not,
we're just paying for one.
Well, You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I got you.
it's not there's no big conflict that is bringing everybody together, and then you silo people off into their own things, and like, hey, you can work from home and do this from home, and all you have is your social media thing, and
It's a great point.
You're just reading how America is terrible, or you're self-obsessed with getting likes and stuff. It's no wonder people think that this is not a great country.
It actually is a great point you make, and the two major global events, or even in this country, an American event. To your point, you look at 9/11, we get attacked, everybody comes together. I'll never forget that fall, that football season, that baseball season, G.W. Bush throwing out the first pitch, the Yankees Diamondbacks World Series. It didn't matter if you were white or black, Republican or Democrat. Everybody was galvanized and rallied behind the flag, this country, and everything that's great about the United States of America. And then you look at what COVID did, and it just went completely, everybody went into their own little corner, legitimately, like in your own corner of your house, because you were told you shouldn't leave, and it created a massive division.
Yep.
Everybody rallied behind 9/11, and then 2020, everybody just totally basically all, and there's polls out there. There are studies that said, well, what was race relations like pre-COVID? And it was like 72% of Americans thought race relations were pretty good. Now you see that same poll, and I gave you this a couple of months ago on the show, that number's down to like 47%.
You have it really good in life when the biggest thing you have to worry about is what gender you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when
first world problems.
Exactly. When that's the biggest issue. It's I heard somebody say one time that after when the Greek Empire fell, or something like right before it fell, all they were worried about were these trivial things, and then all of a sudden this big catastrophic thing happened. So you worry about that from a historic standpoint, like is all of this nonsense that we worry about every day, that kids are worried about these days, is this a precursor to something bigger happening? I don't know.
We'll see. 855-839-1210. In addition to age, party identification was also one of the greatest demographic differentiators in expressions of national pride per Gallup. The percentage of those extremely proud to be American stands at 60% for Republicans, 33% for independents, and 29% for Democrats. So only 3 out of every 10 Democrats out there are extremely proud to be American, which explains everything that they've been about these last 3.5 years. All right, coming up next, Bud Light continues to plummet, and Jason Aldean is on the rise. Very interesting dissection on both when we come back, working our way towards what's on the cut sheet at 7:45.
Chronic joint pain has a snowball effect. It's not just the pain.
What that did is just make me depressed that I couldn't get back into the gym, and I was inactive, gaining weight. I had to find another alternative.
And for Chad, that alternative was QC Kinetics and the non-surgical natural biologic treatments that can give lasting relief to aching hips, shoulders, knees, and backs.
Once they explained it, it made sense. Putting what we have inside our body back into us in a certain strategic way to heal up in a natural process was fantastic.
QC Kinetics treatments take place right in the office. No downtime, no surgery. And as for the outcome,
I'm just back to bouncing around, having fun, doing my work, living pain-free.
Don't let chronic joint pain rob you of your quality of life. Discover advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call now to learn more. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
You've been wanting to check out that news story that everyone's talking about, but you just can't find the time. That's why the On Deadline podcast is here. We pull together interviews from Odyssey's radio newsrooms across the country and add important context so you can really get the news fast. From wildfires and catastrophes at sea to new laws and presidential candidates, we'll have coast-to-coast coverage for you all in one place. Subscribe to On Deadline on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
It's college season, and parents have a lot to consider.
You can say that again.
You got 6 college visits.
2 down.
18 care packages.
I know my baby.
Then there's Parents' Weekend.
Just 1?
Speaking of, when you get a Citizens student loan with multi-year approval, all you need is one easy application. Learn more at citizensbank.com/one-and-done. Citizens, made ready.
The Dudette Dental Group is the official dentist for the Philadelphia Eagles and would love to care for you. The Eagles trust Dr. D and his team, and you can too. With 30 area locations, the Dudette Dental Group provides specialized care like dental implants, root canal therapy, fillings, and more. During the offseason, take care of your smile and get ready to cheer on our team. Dudette Dental Group accepts all major dental insurances and has preseason specials on whitening and cosmetic dentistry. Visit PhiladelphiaEaglesDentist.com.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the new electric XC40 lease for as low as $487. An absolutely fabulous offer, $487. No sales tax for New Jersey residents. Monies due at signing are license fees and the first month's payment only. This is an incredible offer. Considering the electric XC40, now is the time. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo online or in person for a great selection. Our team looks forward to seeing you very soon.
Calling a Media PA to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I would walk 10 miles on my hands and knees.
Kayal and Company, 7:35 Wednesday morning here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Cut sheets coming up in just about 10 minutes. 855-839-1210, the phone number. You can get in on Instagram and Twitter as well. Also be a part of our YouTube chat. Just go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT. It's a pandering-free week from Stalker. His pandering mindset is on vacation this week, and I believe Stalker will return to that next week. And as we're going to start our push for, I believe, 5K subscribers.
We are, yes. We have to get there.
Even pandering deserves vacation.
But I will say this. Somebody on the YouTube chat, and let me just pull it up here for a second.
Here comes a critique.
They told me that they are not going to hit the like button until I shave my neck.
So you shave your. So you have the. Are you going neck beard right now?
Well,
is it all the way like down towards the Adam's apple?
Yeah.
See, I clean that out.
You do?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, a little bit below the chin line, but I don't go like full caveman.
Yeah, I guess I'm going full caveman.
It's a good look for you.
Okay.
I mean, I like it.
All right.
You came back from vacation. You had a beard. You had a tan. You know.
I'm if you're watching right now on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, please hit the like button. I want to get to 100 likes. We're at 50 right now, so if 50 of you can please hit the like button to get to 100, that would be fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So I'm just looking at you do have the beard is going down pretty far. But that's not a bad look. I mean, some people do it that way. I just don't go down that low because I have a bald head and it makes me look my face look even rounder than it is.
So you're under the impression that I should I think
it's a keeper.
Keep the beard. Dawn wants me to shave it. My wife wants me to shave it too.
So you don't think will your wife eventually get like accustomed to it? Will she actually?
I mean, she doesn't really.
A second thought.
I don't know. I don't know if she super cares.
Yeah.
I don't know how much she looks at me these days.
I was just gonna say that translation. My wife doesn't look at me anyway.
It doesn't matter. I don't think she knows what I look like.
Oh. Hey, you know what? We're at it. We gotta have Larry grow a beard. I need like Renegade Larry. It'll be like when Hulk Hogan joined the NWO and he grew the black beard instead of the blonde beard.
I don't think it'd be like all splotchy.
Really?
You know?
Oh, he's like Patch Adams.
Yeah, he's just he's blonde. You wouldn't really see it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Stalker's got like this rustic look to him with the beard. It's almost like a different color than the hair on the head.
Like a little red.
Yeah.
Red.
It's
like a little bit.
You got a little ginger in your family anywhere?
No.
No gingers?
Nowhere. No. I was blonde for most of my life.
Right.
And, as I get older, I still have blonde streaks.
Yep.
And yes, it's all natural. Everybody's like, do you put color? No, I don't dye my
Because some people, pay a fortune for that.
Right.
You have it naturally.
Right. Some of us back in the day used to frost our tips.
Well, I did that. I did that as well in the the late 90s.
That's correct.
But
Well,
You
what
did?
a fad
yeah,
that was.
Of course.
Like the sunscreen or like
No, the bleach.
the
The bleach. I would, it was. There was a point here. I may have actually been working here at that time because I was like 20 something when I started here. I had like bleach blonde hair at one point.
The whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. You would dye it blonde, and then you'd get a haircut, and then the natural color would come back, and it would slowly work its way out. I mean, I'm not saying anything that, females that get their hair, colored from time to time don't know about, but, it gets a little bit shorter, and then next thing you know, it's just got the little bit of the blonde tip on the end of the follicle.
Yeah, right
before.
What?
It's all about the tip.
Right.
The
Tip matters. And sometimes they're going to charge you for the tip whether you want to pay it or not.
Yeah, right.
It's going to show up on your bill. 8% tip for the music? I just came here for the nachos and the queso. What the hell is going on here? Anyway. You have boys. They're not dyeing their hair, are they?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that fad's kind of jumped the shark.
Yeah,
All right.
they're not doing that.
All
The only time says I'm a dark hair, shiny black haired girl, dark hair. And then right before the pandemic, before the shutdowns, I started to go blonde.
Did you really?
She did, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And just for fun.
Just for fun.
Not realizing they were going to shut down all the salons. Then I was trying to do it myself. It was a disaster.
Okay. I can't see you as a blonde. I can't picture that.
It was fun. I wouldn't mind. It's when you have dark hair.
Yeah.
Then you have to go platinum.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind doing it again. It'd be a lot of fun.
Okay.
I think we should all go platinum.
Yeah? Well, we're just not going to go purple. Because then if you go purple hair, then you need the nose ring, and then you need to be on TikTok, and then you have your breakdown. It's steps and phases, stages.
Now, how do you feel about your daughters, though, doing any of that, like coloring their hair?
Olivia will get, which is odd because she's got like stalker type hair, the dirty blonde look. She'll occasionally go a little bit lighter for the summer, whereas Mia's got all of my side of the family, so she's got the dark brown hair, and very rarely will ever mess with it. Usually because of dance, like, they got to stay in a certain, because the team thing, it's like you can't be an individual and do things that really individual, like it's all about kind of like that team culture thing. It's almost like the New York Yankees back when George Steinbrenner owned them. He's like, you will not have facial hair if you play for the Yankees.
I forgot about that.
And they had to all have a clean shaven face. It's kind of like that with dance in the South. They're psychos. So.
Well, if she's a brunette, naturally, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Because you never have to go and color your hair and sit there for 3 hours.
That's correct. It's good hair talk.
I was going to say,
get some
tune in
Sorry.
at 7:35 for the last 6 minutes. We've been talking about hair and beards. Sorry, Delaware Valley.
Hey, Fred, we got a message for you.
Will that make you happy, Fred? Fred might have a point here.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Maybe we can spend 2 hours talking about Trump v. DeSantis. Maybe we should get back to that.
Will Hunter Biden shave his beard for his court appearance in Delaware today?
Thank you very much.
It's all about the optics with that administration, as we know. It doesn't matter that your lawyer's taking bong rips off of a balcony as he represents you, but, we can't prosecute or, do any investigations into the Biden family because of the optics.
Yeah, and he should, edibles are healthier than smoking, but the bong would be the healthiest form.
That's correct.
Of smoking.
Speaking of how terrible Hunter Biden is and how pathetic my life is, because we've been talking on this show about, how does Hunter Biden make all this money? What does he do? Tax records and things like that. I actually did something last night that I probably should have done months and months ago.
What?
I DuckDuckGo'd Hunter Biden, and I pulled up his Wikipedia page. I didn't even realize he went to Georgetown University and he's got a law degree.
Yeah.
Although it looks like, based on the way his page is laid out, it's probably somebody that is in his family or his inner circle. It doesn't seem like he ever practiced law. I mean, I've never understood why you would put yourself through the agony of law school, get a law degree, and then never practice it. But I guess if you can get $83,000 a month working in the Biden crime family, it pays better than being an attorney.
Well, you're right. He has apparently he has his own version of Hunter's art of the deal.
Oh, okay. Right. Which involves WhatsApp messengers and intimidating people. Hey, you better do what you told me you were going to do because my dad's here and he's going to get really pissed off and he knows people. Oh, yeah. That's how we'll conduct business. So it'll be interesting to see all the way how that plays out. And, of course, this week the anticipation is and the expectation that Donald Trump will officially be indicted. So we will certainly round back to a lot of the Trump and Biden drama, but we've had a lot of that lately. So kind of wanted to pivot away from that for a few minutes this morning. But speaking of going platinum, Dawn wants to have everybody's hair go platinum. Yeah. Jason Aldean might be going platinum here. Wow. This is remarkable. Try that in a small town. The stream and the downloads, however you get your music in this day and age, is up a whopping 999%. This is according to Luminate, which tracks music streaming and sales. They reported a jump in streams for Try This in a Small Town. He has gone from 987,000 streams to 11.7 million in just 1 week after that video was released, and ultimately CMT decided to pull it from their airwaves and cancel it, which Stocker predicted would happen. This will be a #1 hit because of the cancellation attempt of his song. But this really goes back to what I said when we first talked about this story. This song had been out since May. I think it came out like a few days after Cinco de Mayo, and it was just one of these songs in the the repertoire of Jason Aldean that, you put out an album or whatever you do these days, and 1 or 2 are unbelievably successful, and the other 8 to 10 are just kind of, in there and forgotten about. This felt like one of those songs that was probably under the radar.
Yep.
And then CMT was like, you know what? We're going to accelerate your song. We'll cancel it, and this thing will explode. And that's exactly what's happened.
This all started, CMT caved under pressure because of social media outrage. That group of anti-gun people that everywhere USA or every town or whatever they're called, they got behind it and were like, this needs to be taken off the air. CMT got spooked, and it was the best thing that ever happened to Jason Aldean. Mm-hmm. And this song that is terrible.
Yeah, it's not a great song.
It's not terrible. I like the song.
I like it more because to be honest, like if I would have heard this song in May, I probably would not have liked it. But now, but now knowing how it makes people mad, when I went to the grocery store yesterday, it was still hot out, and I swear to God, I rolled my window. I'm not doing the air conditioning. Windows down, roof down, back of the truck down. Turned on my Spotify, cranked this song up as I drove down the mean streets of Bluebell, Pennsylvania. Oh God! People looking at me, outraged. Look at that!
So daring.
Look at that deplorable in his Piazza Auto Group truck. He's so un-American. He drives a Honda truck. I said, "Yeah, you try that in a small town, pal." It's amazing the songs that I'll get into for odd reasons, where I never liked the song like that song that the Phillies used last year for their World Series run.
It's a terrible song.
It's terrible.
A terrible song.
And that was a song I knew of 8 years ago and didn't like. But now that I've seen a Phillies highlight reel attached to that song, I love the song.
Yeah.
Just a sad example of my life, but that's a Nick problem.
It was the best thing that happened to Jason Aldean, and you took I won't say it's a terrible song, a mediocre song, and made it a giant #1 hit because these kooks decided that it was offensive.
Yep. Exactly right. All right, 7:46. I'll save the Bud Light story for a little bit, but it's time to get to a Wednesday installment of What's on the Cut Sheet.
What's on the Cut Sheet?
What's on the Cut Sheet on this Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday is brought to you by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo. Right now, they're offering rebates and bonuses of up to $14,833 to lease a new Recharge XC40 and a C40. Now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill. Relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Tell them you heard about them on Kayal and Company, 1210 WPHT. Nick, you spent your big take in our precious airwaves at 6:15 this morning discussing the LeBron James' son, cardiac situation that happened yesterday. You mentioned doctors that the media loves. One is Sanjay Gupta. He was on CNN yesterday discussing this, asking the reporter or the news presenter, the host, whatever, asked how common this is in young people, and this is what he said. This is cut 5, Daniel.
So, Dr. Gupta, cardiac arrest in an 18-year-old, I mean, how common is this, and what are some of the first questions you have as a physician?
Well, thankfully, it's not common, but I think it's maybe more common than people realize as well. If you look sort of across the country in any given year, maybe around 6,000 people may have a cardiac arrest that are young people. A lot of times it's sports-related in some way, 39% sports-related. As people get older, 19 to 25, sports still a factor, but less so of a factor. So it does happen, and as Natasha mentioned, it happened at USC last year. It's happened in lots of other athletes over the years. Some of the questions you want to sort of figure out was he having any symptoms prior to this? Sounds like he wasn't. Sometimes this sort of thing is the first time somebody knows that there's a problem at all. Has he undergone any screening tests in the past to look at his heart? That's certainly what doctors are going to be doing now, looking to try and figure out what exactly caused this, Bianna. Couple of things. Is there some sort of electrical abnormality to the heart, the way that the heart actually conducts electricity through the heart? Is there any evidence of heart inflammation? Is there a problem with the structure of the heart? There's something known as a cardiomyopathy, Bianna, which basically means that some of the muscles of certain chambers of the heart may be abnormal in some way, and that could lead to something like this. They don't always figure out what exactly caused this, but more times than not they will, and that's likely the questions they're trying to answer right now.
So I want you guys to think about this for a moment. Our doctor here at Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia has an immunology background and basically gets canceled for disagreeing with some COVID thoughts and vaccine thoughts by liking tweets. But Sanjay Gupta is on CNN, and he is a neurosurgeon who has worked on the spine and has also worked on hold on, I got this right here. I want to make sure I get this right. Basically, this guy is not a COVID or infectious disease doctor. He's a neurosurgeon from Emory Healthcare. He has worked on spine, trauma, and 3D image-guided operations. And he has also published articles on brain tumors and spinal cord disabilities. Now, I'm not a medical expert, but that seems to be like an entirely different field than infectious diseases and immunology and everything that we talk about COVID related. So this guy was plastered on your TV for 3 years without a medical background in this specific field. Yet guys like here in Philadelphia that are 70 years old that have been doing it because they don't march to the beat of what you're told on mainstream media get fired. Let that comparison sink in for a moment. Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Sanjay.
It's the form of discrimination that's allowed in this country, fueled by, especially by those in academia, who apparently think that they can cancel and discriminate and violate people's First Amendment rights under the why? Because of politics.
And they all act like elitists and snobs.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
they
like,
know.
well, no, you have to adhere to my train of thought. It's the only way. It's a one-way street. You can't go down it the right way. Come on.
We have to start pushing back on all of this and say no.
Absolutely.
This is not acceptable. These are the same people who are discriminating against everyday moms, moms for liberty.
Yeah.
And I could go on, but we have to start getting angry.
I mean, if
pushing back.
If you were having liver failure, would you have a chiropractor work on you? No. It wouldn't make sense. Now, the chiropractor probably knows more than Bob, the construction worker, but it's not his field. We had Sanjay Gupta was labeled as like at least with the nut job who looks like he literally just came out of a biology lab and like he's been in there for 20 years. Hotez down in Texas. I think he's at Baylor University. As much as I disagree, and I think he's out of his mind with some of his lockdown ideas. At least that's his field of expertise. This guy works on the brain.
Yeah, it is interesting to see all of these people that the media, these doctors that the media deem acceptable to express their opinions on. But if you put another doctor on that doesn't, then it's like, well, they're just where did they get their degree and what exactly do they study? You know what I mean?
Well, who's our guy from Stanford, Dr. J.
Bhattacharya?
Yeah, he was because he didn't adhere to the mainstream media school of thought. He was also dealt with accordingly, especially on Twitter.
You brought up some people who have had medical issues in the last couple of months, and one being Jamie Foxx. We discussed that a lot on this show. The very secretive, which, by the way, is their right to. It's his private medical issues, so we don't. I guess we don't have the right to know what's happening, but he did take to Instagram over the weekend. I've been sitting on this for a couple of days, so forgive me on this. But, he gave kind of an update on him and himself and his health, basically saying he's been to hell and back. But he does not say exactly what happened, which I think is interesting. Here is Jamie Foxx taking to Instagram to explain to everybody that he's on the other side and he's doing fine, and he almost died.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's prayed, man, and sent me messages. I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back.
By the way, let me just stop this right now. If you're watching right now on YouTube or playing the video, he does not look well.
He looks very thin. He, in some regards, looks kind of pale.
Pale, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
right?
he looks pale. I mean, look, it might be the Instagram lighting or the lighting of the room he was in. I have no idea.
Right.
But he does not look good.
Yes.
Anyway, he continues.
I went through something that I thought I would never, ever go through. And I know a lot of people were waiting, or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was gonna make it through. And to be honest with you, my sister Deidre Dixon, my daughter Corinne Marie saved my life. So to them, to God, to a lot of great medical people, I'm able to leave you this video. I cannot tell you how great it feels to have your family kick in such a way. And y'all know they kept it airtight. They didn't let nothing out. They protected me. And that's what I hope that everyone could have in moments like these. Now, by being quiet, sometimes things, get out of hand. People saying what I got. Some people said I was blind, but as you can see, the eyes are working. The eyes are working just fine. They said I was paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. But I did go through, I went to hell and back. And my road to recovery had some potholes as well. But I'm coming back.
I'm going to stop it here for a second.
Yep.
So I understand why he did this video. If you're going to go through the trouble of doing this video, why not be a little more forthcoming with what happened?
Or just say it was not what you might have thought it was.
Well,
right?
I mean, yes, it's not his job to
and he doesn't
stop
even have to
conspiracy theories.
No, and he doesn't even have to post the video he posted. I mean, he could just keep going. Like, some people share more stuff. Some people, everybody operates differently.
Yeah.
And everybody copes with things differently. If it helps him to show that video, that right there, and just say what he says, that's, I just think as a public figure, it's fair game for us to have the conversation. That's all. We don't have a right to know. I'm not saying he should tell us, but to ever say, like, well, you really shouldn't even talk about the Jamie Foxx story, like, no, I think as a public figure, it's fair game.
But he could also, because of the influence that he has in his star status, if it was something that was like, hey, you know what, this could maybe help some people, does he have an obligation almost to say what happened to him?
I don't know if I would use the word obligation, because then it feels like we're saying he has to, and I hate like a mandate. So
no,
you know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Am I out of line by saying that?
I don't think you're out of line.
Dawn, am I out of line?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm still triggered by other things this morning.
Okay.
Well, I mean, here's the thing too with
We're
Jamie
doing a radio
Foxx
show here, but thank you.
Jamie, for some reason, And he even says it right there. He talks about his family and his inner circle in camp being airtight, not letting anything out. I commend the family for that. I mean, okay, we would like to know. We're certainly going to discuss it and have our thoughts and ask questions and toss out theories or whatever. But I think when you're in his position, you probably don't want if I say, hey, I'm telling the three of you something, and I would appreciate it if you don't tell anybody else. I think you should adhere to somebody. So if that was
Absolutely.
now, granted, I don't know, he might not have even known what hit him, and he was, incubated or whatever, and his family just made the decision without his input. Maybe he couldn't provide that input, but to everything there, he even, if you're watching on the video, he actually crosses his eyes on purpose to say, hey. I can see, I'm not paralyzed. You can tell I'm moving. So, but he definitely looks like he's been to hell and back.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that he's okay. I had seen it. I'm a huge fan of his.
Yep.
And I had seen his daughter. What was it It was a while ago, like last April or something. His daughter had posted something about, hey, my dad is in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, and people were just saying, praying for him.
Yeah.
And it's been a long road. So eventually he'll probably talk about it, but it's his private medical situation. I don't know what was going on, but I'm glad he's okay.
Kevin Pools on the YouTube chat says maybe his health is none of your business.
That's fair.
It is fair, but let me ask you guys a question. What is the I respect HIPAA laws but what is the harm in telling somebody what you're a scary medical
I don't think
issue
there's harm in doing so. I think just some people either feel like my business is my business. See, I'm the opposite. I'm an open book. I say too much stuff, and that's fine. But that's just the way I am. I'm not going to apologize for who. And same thing with Jamie Foxx. He shouldn't have to apologize if he doesn't want to reveal it. But I think as a public figure, and in some ways, we support Jamie Foxx because if we don't consume his content or purchase his movies or whatever, he's not. You're nobody without your fans, right? In any walk of life, but also from
Jim Daniels on YouTube says everybody knew George Brett had hemorrhoids.
That's why he was such a pain in the ass.
And what if Jamie? What if with his significant other, he took one of those blue pills, and you know how they say that if something extends, extends past 12 hours, go to the emergency room. I mean, we don't know what happened.
If it's something embarrassing like that, but I don't think that going to hell and back is having having an erection for longer than you should.
Right.
Well, maybe that created a blood clot. I don't know. It could have been a serious situation. I have no idea.
So I took this pill, okay,
and it really worked.
All right,
and it was the generic form.
Let's continue with Jamie Foxx here.
And I'm able to work, so I want to thank the people that let me work. And I just want to say that I love everybody, and I love.
Somebody pointed out, by the way, on the YouTube chat that this looks like a hostage video.
Well, AOC filmed it.
And I do agree. I feel like we're I don't know. This it doesn't seem like he wants to do this, but I don't know. He continues.
All of the love that I got, and man, I know they talk about people crying on videos. You can do take two, but I'm not gonna do a take two. It is what it is, and if you see me out from now on and every once in a while I just burst into tears, is because it's been tough, man. I was sick, man, but now I got my legs under me, so you're gonna see me out. But like I said, I just want you to remember me for the jokes that I crack, the movies that I make. Some of them good, some of them ain't. I think I got a good one out. And the songs that I sing, man. And then, some people was talking about I'm cloned. Well, check this out.
Cloned.
Just kidding. Not cloned, man, but I'm here on earth because of some great people. I'm here on earth because of God, man. So I love all y'all. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I'm on my way back in love.
There you go.
Good for him.
You know, he played. I watched with my son the Ray Charles. He portrayed
Oh, he
Ray
was great in
Charles.
that, yeah.
And I wanted my kids to see that.
Mhm.
And Ray Charles, of course. No, I mean, I never knew this until I watched the movie, and Jamie won the Oscar for that.
Mhm.
But that he had gone through drug addiction
Mhm.
and kicked it. But who knows? I mean, what if this is? We hear about the opioid crisis. What if he became addicted, like a lot of people do, to
Right.
medication or what have you,
Mhm.
and doesn't want to talk about that right
But
now?
maybe,
we have no idea.
But maybe it would be a public service for him to do so. And
But-
maybe, like I always look at it like this. It's like, hey, you know what? Sometimes tragic things happening to other people are wake-up calls for
Yeah,
certain
that's
people.
true.
Well, and also silence fuels speculation. Remember when DeMar Hamlin for the Bills had his
Yeah.
issue, and then he didn't want to. Remember he did the interview with Michael Strahan on Good Morning America?
Yep.
And he didn't really want to get into it. And everyone was like, well, see, now we know it was from the COVID shot, and he doesn't want to speak because, as we gave you the numbers, the 7th biggest advertiser for the NFL is Pfizer.
Yep.
So there's your business connection of, not saying too much about a partner that you exchange money with.
Look, all I'm doing is playing devil's advocate. I just think that, like, I respect people's medical privacy. I do.
No, you don't.
But I'm just saying that, like, if you're going to go to the trouble of doing this 3-minute video and basically explaining what you went through, tell us what you went through, or
Yeah.
don't say anything at all.
And
that's all I'm saying.
And how do we feel about the polo with all the buttons buttoned up? That I couldn't stop staring at that. I am not a all buttons opened kind of guy. I
Yeah.
usually do one button, but
Yeah.
Jamie had all 3 buttons on his golf polo buttoned up.
Maybe because he lost so much weight.
Yeah,
I
he
guess.
looks very gaunt. I will say that.
He does.
God
Pale.
bless him. I hope he's okay.
Which again, by the way, fuels speculation about people saying, like, my God, what happened to this guy? Like, what's going on here?
I know.
I look. If anything ever happens to me, I will say this to you guys, that I'll be forthcoming with everything that happens, because, like, if say, hey, you know what, I wasn't feeling well, and I put off going to the doctor, and this happened to me.
Yeah.
That might spark somebody to say, hey, you know what, I haven't been feeling well too, maybe I should go to the doctor.
Right.
I'm just saying that, like, stuff like this helps people.
Yeah.
And the more people are quiet about their medical issues, the more, it could fuel other people from not getting checked out
I know.
on whatever,
People need to speak up. And speaking of that, I'm going to speak up. I'm not feeling too well. What are your thoughts on me having tomorrow and Friday off?
No.
You're not feeling well?
I just figured I would see if I can get some days off. That's all.
You're not allowed to. By the way, we're 6 likes away from 100 likes. So if you're watching right now on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, please hit the like button so we can get to 100 likes. Vivek Ramaswamy was on. Sorry, you want to play that again?
No, you're good. I got the Schwami in. That's all that matters.
Was on with Laura Ingraham yesterday. He says at this point he's confident he will be the next president.
Hey, man.
Look,
you do you. Shoot or shoot.
Look, you can't.
Let's go.
You can't run for this and not think that's where you're going to end up.
Exactly right.
That is music to my ears, because I would fire all the consultants. Okay, they're usually wrong, and they get paid a huge amount of money to do precisely nothing. Okay, so fire most of the consultants. They're just generally worthless. Commentator Dave Rubin.
Is it me? I don't mean to keep stopping this.
Laura Ingraham, by the way, with a great comment. Consultants are worthless.
Yeah.
I approve of that message, Laura.
Laura Ingraham is very unlikable.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
She's my least favorite of the primetime hosts.
She's just very. I mean,
Because she's a woman?
Yes, Dawn. It's because she's
she just
a woman.
always has this scowl on her face.
No, you know what it is because I knew one of her former producers, and I know what a raving lunatic she was, and I just don't. People
Does she spank them after the? Like, I see her spanking them or something.
As a former producer here, I hold producers in the utmost respect, and hosts who treat producers like crap, I have a bad taste in my mouth for. So maybe that's what it is.
She's got RBF.
What's that?
Resting bleep face. The B word.
Well,
it's like you permanently look like you're just ready to go scorched earth on everybody.
Here's the thing. I think I can say she's clearly had a lot of work done.
Yeah.
She looks fabulous, okay, and she's very fit and all that good stuff. But her lips, she's had her lips done, and I did this once. I should get it again, anyway, I won't go into that. But her lips are so poofy because they put the fillers in them.
Poofy lips.
And so she can't close her mouth.
She's like Chloe Cherry from yesterday.
But if you notice, when she's interviewing, she kind of goes, and the lips are kind of crooked.
Yeah.
But she can't close her mouth. Like,
right.
Who was it on Howard Stern? Remember Gary, and he couldn't close his mouth?
Yeah.
So she doesn't close her mouth, and then she did so much Botox as well that I don't know. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Who's starting to get catty now, my love?
I'm not catty. Some of the guys
I'm just kidding.
have had a lot too. No,
I'm going to get some work done too, I think.
Yeah.
What are you going to get done?
Hair plugs.
Hair plugs, nose, beak removal.
Yeah, I need
I got a schnoz, so.
Me too. All right, anyway, this is all fascinating, but we're talking about Vivek here.
Ben is a DeSantis supporter. I'm told he spoke about your campaign yesterday. Watch this.
It's fairly obvious to anyone paying attention that Trump and Vivek are coordinating, right? Vivek is doing all endless attacks on DeSantis, no attacks on Trump, and all of the Trump surrogates online, you know who they are. They're always pumping up Vivek because Vivek's going after DeSantis.
So, Vivek, is that your role here? I mean, he seems to have it all figured out.
Well, look, I think a commentator's job is to be a commentator from the side. But the fact is, I'm not attacking DeSantis. I do believe in drawing policy contrasts. That's good for the Republican voters. I am running to win this election. And at this point, Laura, I am confident I will be our next president. And for my case, this isn't about November 2024 as the destination. The destination I think about is January of 2033. What do I want to tell the people of this country that we actually accomplished? One of the great farewell speeches of all time was Ronald Reagan's in January of 1989, when he said that we had revived a national character that we were missing. That's what I want to tell Americans in January of 2033. We're going to do that by reviving the economy, declaring independence from China. And I think what's driving our rise, Laura, and I think that it's okay, that it's making some of the others insecure, that's going to level our party up, and that's a good thing.
Vivek, really
specificity of where we are going.
I think that's right. I think people are looking for specific solutions.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things here. He's got a great voice. He's a great presenter. He's a great orator. He's almost got an Obama kind of confident, deep-toned voice swagger to his delivery.
It's a great comparison.
Some presidents are great speakers, others are not, regardless of which party they're on. But he's been smart. I mean, we've seen DeSantis was, quote, not loyal to Trump, and you could maybe argue, in addition to many other things, that has worked against him. And you could say Vivek has ducked Trump and not tried to anger that base, and that might be accurate. You could say he's trying to get a job in Trump's cabinet. That's accurate. That's fair. But it is smart business for him to maybe avoid going after Trump. So, look, everybody's got their own strategy, and they're all doing it differently. DeSantis kind of tiptoes. Chris Christie tries to throw haymakers. Vivek stays out of it, focuses on whatever. They've all got their strategy.
I think it's significant. And even Daniel Valdez said, who's just graduated college in his early 20s, and Daniel had said from the beginning he's inspired by Vivek. He really likes Vivek. My teenage sons like him. I think he's an important voice. I don't know if Anthony likes him. I don't know if he was inspired by him early on, but I think about that and the importance of somebody in the Republican Party or just somebody in American politics who inspires future generations of teenagers and 20-something individuals who feel a sense of hope, and somebody who he's not doing the name calling. He's avoiding that, but he's allowed to avoid it because he's really smart. And to your point, he's eloquent. He's not reading from a prompter.
No.
He's just coming up with this off the cuff. He's incredible. And even in those negative moments, and you played the clip, what was it, a week or so ago, of a single mom during one of those town halls like he held here in Philadelphia, where she was screaming during his town hall about the abortion issue. And he said, no, we're not going to do that. Let her speak. And then she actually talked about being a single mom. Her issue actually was that she wasn't getting child support and she's suffering in this economy.
Right.
And that was actually what she was going to.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned that around, got the crowd to applaud her as a single mom, and weaved it into the economy.
Yep.
And that was really skillful of him.
Well, he stays away from getting in the mud. He doesn't give out pot shots. He's not going after Christie's weight or DeSantis's losing of weight. Like, if you want a guy, and look, I don't think he's got a shot in hell, but if you are of the belief that, hey, give me somebody that will be great with policy, stay away from the drama, and just kind of stay focused on the issues that matter, he seems like he's one of those guys.
Remember, we talked about it yesterday. You discussed it. We discussed it a week or so ago. Remember where Trump was polling at this point in 2015. So, like, you can't say, well, he's polling in single digits. He doesn't have a chance because we just don't know what 2024 is going to bring.
I mean, if Trump was not in the equation for whatever reason, whether he wasn't running or, let's just say he was thrown in jail, I mean, Ramaswamy would have a legit chance to win the nomination. Because if you look at the polling, as DeSantis has come down and Vivek has risen up, they're almost neck and neck, and it's kind of Trump way at the top. It used to be Ron and everybody else. Now it's Trump at the top, Ron and Vivek kind of battling for that second spot, and everybody else is in a distant 3rd through 7th.
Well, we discuss VPs all the time and what each VP would bring to a ticket. Tim Scott is obviously a very appealing candidate to be a VP. Nikki Haley. Vivek, what does he bring? Youth? That's important to the Republicans. It's very important. So
Dawn has mentioned this too. Look at just everything that the Democrats claim to be, the Republican nominees are young, energetic, diverse, male, female, white, black, Indian, whatever. I mean, you name it across the board. And the left has Biden, Gavin Newsom, and RFK. Old white dudes. Shout out to all the old white dudes listening.
So CNN on Aaron Burnett did a report from a Walgreens in San Francisco. The guy was doing a report there on theft. The Walgreens that he visited in San Francisco had 3 thefts in 30 minutes.
It's one every 10 minutes.
While he was there. This is the report from Aaron Burnett from over the weekend.
Ark Young Law visited one Walgreens that's hit by shoplifters more than a dozen times a day. It happened 3 times while she was inside.
Richie Greenberg walked into a San Francisco Walgreens when he saw in the frozen food section this.
Chains, heavy chains that went from padlock to padlock on both sides of the doors, and this was bizarre, something I'd never seen before. This is just more icing on the cake, telling us that rampant crime has become a regular part of life.
So typical that in the 30 minutes we were at this Walgreens, we watched 3 people, including this man, steal.
Did that guy pay? Did that guy pay?
Just walking out like
and the cashier was like, no, he didn't pay.
No, just let him go. He's not even running. He's like he owns the joint.
Guys, there's a TV camera in there, and he walked right by it with something in his hand.
And he wasn't wearing a mask or anything else.
Nothing.
Hey, guys, we're going to start to need locking up the Haagen-Dazs, their high theft item lately.
What are we doing?
Hey,
It's
Bill.
the culture of crime.
Yeah.
And by the way, you deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You should be able to walk out of there because you've been, denied.
Can you imagine
something.
the Walgreens manager sitting there saying, "Hey, Bill, I know technically by the letter of the law, I've got to give you a 15-minute break every 4 hours, but we are due for another theft in 7 minutes, so can you hold off?" I'll make it up to you.
A little bit more here.
Walgreens says this Richmond neighborhood store with aisles of products like mustard locked behind plexiglass has the highest theft rate of all their nearly 9,000 U.S. stores, hit more than a dozen times a day. When thieves turned to cleaning out ice cream and frozen burritos, workers grew so frustrated they resorted to the chains. They were ordered down by corporate because of the negative messaging.
Negative messaging. They were ordered down by corporate because of the negative messaging.
Let them steal the mustard. Even Ron DeSantis says it's okay.
Mustard.
Yes, the mustard.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
But you know, part of this is that Walgreens is going to close, just like we've seen quietly. Locally Wawa and different stores.
Whole Foods.
Right. Yeah. Just quietly leaving Philadelphia. They don't say anything. If they say, "Oh, we're looking on some relocation," they don't want to deal with it, but they leave. So those employees who are, you might think, well, they're defending against thieves, but also they're defending their own job because they're going to be out of a job.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. A little bit more from this.
Walgreens isn't the only retailer impacted in San Francisco.
You have to ask an employee for help.
At this store, frozen food is controlled with a cable lock.
Oh my God.
Fake eyelashes locked behind plexiglass, along with lotion and nail polish.
Oh my God.
Ma'am, I really wanted to grab the DiGiorno pizza, the Supreme, but it's bolted up. Could you open it up for me? I just want to see how many calories on it. Is that gluten-free? I can't tell because I can't pick it out of the freezer myself.
Is that a DiGiorno?
Was that delivery? No, it's DiGiorno.
And imagine you're on a diet, and then and then you go in there for that ice cream. You have a craving, and then you're like, "Oh, they're shaming me. It's locked. I have to ask somebody."
Yeah. My parents have been gone for 12 and 13 years, respectively. If they came back today and saw that we were locking up our freezers in grocery stores, they would be like, "You know what? I'll just go back to where I've been for the last 12 years. I'm out." It's outrageous. That's where we're at. And I saw the New York Post tweeted a story yesterday with a picture of another shoplifting situation, and they showed the people in a still photo loading up the back of their cars with the shopping cart. Like, you walk out of your grocery store and you see the mom loading up the minivan, dumping all the bags in. These people were taking stolen goods and putting them in their car and taking their good old time doing so. Like they purchased everything legally.
Yep. Yeah. Because there's no consequences. They know they can just literally walk out of any store. Nobody's going to stop them. Nothing's going to happen unless you're a porn star, like Dawn reported on yesterday.
Former porn star.
Porn star.
Lancaster's own.
But if you are, if you're a resident of San Francisco or Philadelphia and you go into one of these places and you want to have at it in the place, it's good. But to Dawn's point about locking things up, can you imagine going in there and be like, yes. I need the condoms. Okay. What size is the size here?
I need Magnum.
Extra small, please. Please don't.
Rib for her pleasure.
Do they have a small one? No. Magnums are too big. I'm sorry.
And then the slappy that works there gets on his intercom and he says, Bill, I've got a condom question, aisle 5.
For this little guy. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Valdez needs rubbers.
Oh, stop.
Do you have any herpes cream? What? Herpes? Bill, do we have any herpes cream here?
Would you guys get back to politics?
I absolutely hate when people say, you shouldn't be talking about this.
Snort.
Yeah. What a world we live in. The Biden family dog. What's his name?
Rin Tin Tin.
Was it Commander, or
yeah.
There are two of them?
Yeah. This was addressed because Dawn reported yesterday that the dog bit, 6 people or something? KJP was asked about this yesterday, and she said, look, the White House is a very, very stressful place.
Yeah, even for canines.
Cut 4 here.
It seems that Commander Biden has a bit of a biting problem. Can you give us the latest and also any plans for him to perhaps make a move, go stay with some family and friends?
What a question.
As Major Biden, the previous dog, did?
So, as you all know, the White House complex can be unique and very stressful. And that is something I'm sure you all can understand. And it is, as I just said, it is unique and it is stressful for all of us. So you can imagine what it's like for a family pet and family pets more broadly.
Yeah. Let's blame the dog. Blame the dog for being stressful.
So what's the dog's name? Commander?
Yeah.
Commander Biden likes to bite. Joe Biden likes to sniff little kids. And I saw a meme yesterday that was great on Twitter. They had Joe and the dog sitting on the steps together, except Joe was wearing the collar, the big cone collar. Yeah. So like we're dogs and they can't chew their stitches or something. And they had it around Joe's neck. They're such a bizarre family.
Actually, it was. They bit them, Secret Service personnel 10 times.
Yeah. Now you wonder why the Secret Service doesn't want to do their job. They're getting chomped at.
Train your dog. It's not the dog's fault. It's if it's in a stressful environment, then take it to your Delaware home. You spend every weekend there anyway.
Why don't you take your dog for a walk? Good God, he looks miserable. What are you feeding him?
It's a stressful place. Like, you're blaming the dog.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's bad ownership.
It is. But this is the administration that has cocaine sitting on tables. They can't even figure out where it came from. So you think they're going to get a dog situation right?
Maybe the dog, like the sharks. By the way, there's a big shark thing. It begins today, right?
It was
cocaine sharks.
Shark Week. Shark Week started Monday on Discovery.
Started Monday, but today is the cocaine sharks. Maybe the dog.
Yeah.
You know, they're sniffing stuff. They sniffed a little cocaine, got aggressive.
Yes. The cocaine shark is also known as the hunter hammerhead.
Joe Biden yesterday spoke, and boy, did he have a lot of. Did he say a lot of doozies yesterday?
Yeah, I really thought you were going to lead off with this morning. This is a staggering piece of audio.
He claimed that 820 is a very important. It's important.
What?
Never mind. It's
ain't seen nothing yet.
Jargon.
Anyway,
inside radio speak.
Yes.
He claims, and I didn't know if you guys know this, that cancer has been cured.
Oh, wow. I feel great about my future lifespan now.
Smoke up, everybody.
Yep.
Do whatever you want to. Eat as much bacon and everything you want to because it's fine.
Okay.
Because cancer, as we know it, has been ended by the Biden administration.
Okay.
Cut one.
I said I'd cure cancer. They looked at me like, why cancer? Because no one thinks we can. That's why, and we can. We end the cancer as we know it. Deliver on our sacred obligations to veterans is the second thing I think is critically important.
End the cancer as we know it.
They can't control crime, the southern border, inflation. Was this part of the CHIPS Act or the Inflation Reduction Act that actually cured cancer, Joe? I didn't read that in the infrastructure bill.
God.
He cured cancer, folks.
Cancer as we know it.
I mean, I wish this guy would have been in office 15 years ago. I'd have more relatives alive today.
Oh.
He cured cancer as we know it.
Yep. Also,
we're
still feeling the profound loss of the pandemic.
Yep.
Millions of people are dying. Oh, they're not? I'm sorry.
We're still feeling the profound loss of the pandemic. As I mentioned, over 100 people dead.
So over 100 people have died during the pandemic. I think it's time for more lockdowns, Greg. We got to shut it down. We got to flatten the curve. I'm going to hope, and I'll clean up the sarcasm now. I'm hoping he was referring to there's only like 100 people a day that are dying of COVID now. But, yeah, based on that CNN body count tracker that was plastered on your TV for 2 years, I think we exceeded 100 deaths, Joe.
I mean, there's probably 100 people that are dying of, being struck by lightning. So, I'm just saying.
So he cured cancer and we had 100 COVID deaths.
Wow.
Well, he didn't take his medicine yesterday, did he? I mean, even President Herzog in Israel is like, man, I've seen Joe better than this.
He also said, he said this very creepily about monitoring what your children are looking at on the internet. Cut 3.
We got to hold these platforms accountable for the national experiment they're conducting on our children for profit. Later this week, senators will debate legislation to protect kids' privacy online, which I've been calling for 2 years. It matters. Pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it.
Pass it, yeah. Puff,
I really
puff,
mean
pass.
To think about it. You ever get a chance to look at what your kids are looking at online?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Basically.
Ever get a chance to look at what your kids
Joe says, you as a parent might not see what your kid is looking at on Instagram, but when I come from behind your kid and sniff their hair, I see what they're doing on their phones.
I'm serious. Think about it.
Yeah, not a joke. Oh, and by the way, did you notice yesterday when he got ready for that speech, this administration is like a little ensemble cast of 5 or 6 hits, and they just keep replaying their same hits over and over. We know Kamala and everybody else and KJP have their cliches.
Yep.
Joe, once again, as he walked into where he was getting ready to speak, looked up at the balcony and did the "don't jump" again.
Yeah, that's his. He does that joke at every place he's in.
If I'm advising Joe, stop.
Pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it.
That's what that's what Joel here. We have actually audio of Joel Embiid. This was Joel Embiid in 2019 telling Ben Simmons what he needs to do since he won't shoot the ball.
Pass it, pass it, pass it, pass
That's
it.
correct.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, so am I. So is this administration. Good God almighty. Don't jump. I love that. He looks up there, he puts his hands up. And I bet you there's some moron there in the White House press corps that always falls for it and looks back like somebody's going to take a nosedive. Even though I want to right about now. All right, that'll do it for What's on the Cut Sheet Part 1. Let's get to Dawn Stenzelin's Big 3 at 8:28.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal and Company.
And our Big 3 at 8 this morning, sponsored by the Millville Army Airfield Museum. City of Philadelphia is suing 3 local gun shops that city officials allege have knowingly sold firearms in what are known as straw purchases. So this is where somebody buys a gun on behalf of somebody else. Somebody else may legally be prohibited from, doing so, such as somebody who's underage or somebody with criminal records. So we have that lawsuit going on right now against local Philadelphia gun shops as well as a suburban one. So we're looking at that one as well. We're looking at the Pennsylvania state budget. Lawmakers are saying they likely won't solve the budget impasse before schools return this fall, because remember, they don't meet until they don't go back from summer session. They're not scheduled back until mid-September. And so this will force some of the 4 state-related universities to approve tuition increases for the upcoming year. And so we're looking at that as well. I know a lot of universities looking at inflation, 4 to 7% tuition hikes.
Wow.
Such as, locally Temple, for example, 4% tuition hike. They're saying it's all about inflation.
So it's more expensive to go to Temple, but it's also never been less safe to go to Temple.
Well,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to look at their enrollments. It's a great school, and it's a shame what's going on. And that brings me to word that an exemplary student at Penn State is under fire, facing federal prosecution. Now, his attorney telling a judge that the 19-year-old is a graduate of Pennsbury High School in Bucks County, a National Business Honor Society member who maintains a 3.99 GPA while working in IT support at the university. So he has a part-time job and putting himself through school and an honor student. The Fed's charging the sophomore at Penn State University's Abington campus with lying about his contacts with ISIS sympathizers.
Oh, wow.
So the Feds say Kamal Fadaleev posting more than 200 manuals to chat groups about bomb, poison, and weapons making to multiple terrorism-related chat groups. And his involvement came to light after the FBI disrupted and, thank God, prevented a terrorist plot in Chicago last year. The Feds say the teen lied to them after they questioned him about 700 messages between the teen and one of the suspects last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Fadaleev, he's 19, remains in federal custody right now. The judge determined he was a risk of flight, ordering him held until trial. And so the judge noting that he made 2 separate trips to the Russian consulate in New York City after he knew he was under investigation. The feds had already questioned him, apparently. But what's interesting in court, his attorney questioning the charges. He faces 2 counts of lying to the FBI, something that's punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Now, he has since said that he was exploring these chat groups and then had denounced them and gotten away from that. But his defense attorney says for all the talk of terrorism in these chat groups, he is not charged with any sort of violent act. His only engagement is in these online chats, which he now has denounced, and he backed away from it.
And he's still incarcerated?
He's incarcerated, facing trial. His family is Russian. And so he has his family got him, he's a dual citizen because they got him the Russian citizenship, even though he was born here and he's a legal resident of America. But it's an interesting look at this because he was involved in these online chats.
And your son goes to Penn State Abington, right?
And he's 19. He's a teenager. I'm fascinated by this story because I think, the question is, it's scary to think that your 19-year-old, that your teenager is on some of these chat groups. Maybe they're fascinated with it.
Well, this guy would have been better off just knifing somebody in a subway. He would have gotten no cash bail. He'd been back on the street today.
That's well put.
Just saying. Just heard that story in New York, another subway knifing. Oh, and by the way, speaking of, Penn State and this terror-related thing, did you see the story yesterday about, you remember the Aaron Hernandez story? The guy that played for the Patriots that committed a bunch of murders and then killed himself in prison? Yeah. His younger brother just got arrested, DJ Hernandez, because he was plotting to shoot up a bunch of schools.
My goodness.
A lot of people out there plotting evil stuff. So you got to commend law enforcement when they're able to be proactive and end these threats prior to them being executed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think to your point about this, the reason, I hope the reason that they're trying to intercept this kid who's obviously bright and maybe he didn't do anything violent. So on one hand, we want those officers to be out there catching pedophiles, catching possible terrorists. They did prevent and avert a terrorist attack.
But how bright is
Chicago.
3.99 GPA, and yet he's online and doing this stuff. And if you've learned anything over the last 22 years post 9/11, is that this type of stuff is monitored by the feds online to hopefully prevent future terrorist activity.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of teenagers online, there's this, they're delusional about reality, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe that's, I don't know. I think it's interesting for debate, though, that he's posting things in a chat group that are widely available to anybody in America. You can find this, you can find all this bomb-making stuff. I guess you can find it on the internet.
Right.
So in any event, it's one that's, we'll continue to follow it. I don't have a trial date set yet, but that's what's going on. Sounds like he has a good attorney as well. So we are sponsored this morning in the Big Three by Millville Army Airfield Museum. Help honor World War II aviation heritage at Millville Army Airfield in New Jersey, America's first defense airport and gunnery school for P-47 Thunderbolt fighter pilots. Admission is free. You can schedule a group tour online at p47millville.org. Become a member now. So on this heat advisory ridden day where it's going to feel like 100 degrees, more than 100 degrees today with the heat index, this is Kayal and Company Big Three.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 855-839-1210 is the phone number. Coming up next, Bud Light continues to plummet, but we've got new details on that story. And also, Target is in the news. But as you know, I've recently leased the 2023 Honda Ridgeline from Piazza Honda of Springfield. Absolutely love it. If you're a truck person like me, it is a great time to visit Piazza Honda in Springfield. Or if you can't make it to that location, you can go to the Philadelphia location, Langhorne, Pottstown, or Reading, because they have 0.9% APR financing. And it's not just for the truck. If you want a smaller, more fuel-efficient car, the Honda Civic, great on gas. The Honda Accord family sedan, CR-V, Pilot, and more. The Piazza Auto Group is expanding all the time, and they don't have to lock up their products. They're not leaving certain towns or cities. They're growing as other people are struggling. That's because they have great customer service. They're going to treat you like family, and they have so many locations, which is convenient, and they have unbelievable diversity in their brands. 35 locations, 17 brands. It is my go-to for all things automotive. It's the reason why Dawn Stensland has been partnered with them for many years. You can find your new or certified pre-owned vehicle today, and you can do it right now at piazzaautogroup.com.
Don't give in to that constant joint pain. Take control. Take back your quality of life today with help from QC Kinetics. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. QC Kinetics is helping people here every day with their amazing non-surgical treatments which repair and restore damaged joint tissue. So they use the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your body's own healing agents, concentrating them, and then putting them directly into the area where you're suffering with that agonizing pain. This incredible non-invasive approach approach helps you take back control of your body, relieving the pain in your knees or your hips, shoulder, or back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs or steroids, no downtime. Listen, summertime needs to be about having fun. Call now for your free consultation with QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000, QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
You got the alert this morning. Now get the whole story. Count on NBC 10 News today.
It's more than just headlines. It's news to get you ready for your day.
If you need motivation, here we go. We've got your playbook.
The most accurate hour-by-hour weather forecasts.
Traffic info to get you there and back easier. It's all you need to get up, get ahead, and stay ahead.
Make your mornings count with NBC 10 News today. Count on it.
Don't miss Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor, Saturday afternoons at 5. Tune in for accurate information so you can make the right medical decisions. Your radio doctor, Dr. Marianne Ritchie, Saturday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill. The energy bill, that is. Imagine no more high energy bills while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows. And we are continuing to offer 12-month same-as cash financing. And don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
Hi, I'm George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores. Our stores are stocked with everything from cooling pads and vests to cooling booties for those hot paws. Or your dog can dip their paws in one of our specially made pools. Don't forget the floating toys, ball launchers, frisbees, and of course, a new summer collar and leash, so they look their best at the dog park. Dogs and Cats Rule with 7 neighborhood locations, or visit online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. That's Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight? NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injections without any of the side effects. Plus, you learn proper portion control. You develop healthy eating habits that last you the rest of your life. By the end of NJ Diet's 40-day program, you will lose 20 to 40 plus pounds, contractually guaranteed. You will lose the weight. You will keep off the weight the natural way. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements. That's going to get your body into the fat-burning zone. Then, NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help keep the weight off. Locations throughout the East Coast are available with live online video consultations. Don't take shots the rest of your life. Lose weight quickly the natural way with NJ Diet. 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult at njdiet.com. njdiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
Kayal and Company mornings. Rich Zioli afternoons. Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
.41, Kayal and Company rolling on live here on a Wednesday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. YouTube.com/@1210 WPHT. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Stalker will not pander for subscribers again until next week when we start the push for 5K, but he is pandering for likes. And you guys know the rule. A minimum of 100 per day.
Thank you. If you're watching right now, youtube.com/@1210 WPHT, please hit the like button.
Do it.
Please.
Do it now and do it often. What's on the cut sheet part due at 9:40. Our morning mystery movie clip. Your chance to win another $50 gift card to the Metro Diner is at 9:20, and we'll get to Dawn Stenzelin's Big Three at 9, coming up around 9:15. Also, 5 crazy revelations inside the CNN I almost said Mark Zucker, Jeff Zucker sale. Some very interesting revelations on that front. And
it's a mess.
It is a total mess, which is really on brand for that network for the last probably 8 years now. And then also, we've got a story on how skewed the border coverage is from the mainstream media and what they tell you and show you versus what they decide to omit. We'll get to that as we continue. And then we're going to wrap it up with 2 crazy stories this morning. One is a story out there that says that constipation can lead to cognitive decline. Maybe that explains Joe Biden. And also, there is a well-known television personality. And, this could, if I bring it up now, it could lead to a total hijacking of the show. So I'm going to save it for a very small window around 9:30. But it has to do with personal hygiene and how often you shower. Well, I'm just going to tease it that way because I don't want the chat to blow up and all of a sudden the show just goes off the rails. We can do that on our own. We don't need your assistance. 855-839-1210. So Bud Light is continually on the struggle bus. And I've said this is the biggest collapse of an American company in my lifetime. And I know companies have gone out of business. There's Enron, stuff like that. But from a marketing standpoint, I have never seen a company screw it up so bad for themselves with really no end sight. Where's the relief going to come from? When do they turn it around? When does it level off? We've been talking about this since March, basically. But Bud Light in the latest study now, and we've talked about their sales at distributors or like grocery stores and stuff like that. This story and this study from the New York Post shows how hard they have been hit at restaurants and bars. Bud Light has now fallen from first place to fourth place behind Miller Lite, Michelob Ultra, and Coors Light on the list of most popular beer brands within restaurants that have a liquor license to sell beer and alcohol. According to this study, the report by hospitality data firm Union found that the sales of Bud Light, whose partnership with Dylan Mulvaney sparked a nationwide boycott, fell by 34% at the, quote, high-volume bars and restaurants in Q2 of 2023. In contrast, Miller Lite, which is property of the Molson Coors conglomerate, was catapulted to the top spot, eyeing a 20.7% increase in sales during the 3 months that ended on June 30th. Michelob Ultra, which Bud Light is a product of Anheuser-Busch, took second place, seeing a 3.6% uptick in sales. Coors Light receiving a 19.4% increase. I do think it is pretty interesting, and I didn't know all of this until this story broke, and we've been covering it so frequently because there's always new stories to discuss with it. I never realized how many brands that Anheuser-Busch actually had under their umbrella. So I do think as bad as Bud Light has been, and rightfully so, and they've been hit hard and deservedly so, it's kind of interesting that some of the other Anheuser-Busch's brands have gone up. So it's not just like, hey, we're boycotting Anheuser-Busch, the conglomerate. It's just specifically the Bud Light brand within the Anheuser-Busch family. Sales of Bud Light fell by 26.1% for the week that just ended on July 15th, which is slightly worse. And so this is the point here. It's not getting any better. This is actually slightly worse than the 23.6% drop that they suffered on the 4th of July holiday period. That according to Nielsen IQ. And Modelo continues to see the biggest gain of any Bud product as they are up 8.1% year to date. So that's pretty interesting. And then you might be wondering where exactly the biggest boycotts are coming from geographically. It's the Carolinas. North and South Carolina has really boycotted and rebelled against Bud Light stronger than any state or states or region of the country.
It's interesting.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
So you got North and South Carolina. And before reading some of these numbers, I would have just assumed it would definitely be the red states. The Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Ohio, the Carolinas. But North and South Carolina saying, you know what? Yeah, we're going to go to Hilton Head, no Bud. Outer Banks, no Bud. Myrtle Beach, no Bud. Charlotte, Raleigh. That's all I can remember for those states.
Did those states did southern states like Bud Light before?
That's a very good question.
Everybody badmouths Bud Light now, but I always felt like Bud was a popular, like in my circle of, football friends, I mean, it's always either been Bud or Miller. Like everybody always mocked Coors. Oh, Coors Light's like water. And Michelob, well, why don't you just drink a bottle of water? Like it was always either Miller or Bud. And I always liked both, but I preferred Bud for the most part. That's just me though. I don't dislike Miller. I think Miller's just got a little, I don't know, for my taste, it's a little, I don't know if it's tangy is the right word, or maybe a little hoppier. I always thought Bud Light was a little bit of a smoother finish.
Philly's a Miller town, though.
It is. You go to an Eagles game, it's Miller.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Miller Lite.
Yeah. Miller Lite owns this city.
Yeah.
They really do.
But I always felt like Bud goes with baseball.
This city is not a Bud Light city. Miami, places like that, they're Bud Light cities.
You know what we should do? We should do a blind beer tasting challenge.
Oh, boy.
On this show.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I know we have advertisers in a lot of different beer companies.
We do.
We'll bring a bunch in.
Yep.
We'll blindfold, and we'll do like a bunch of light beers and then a bunch of lagers. Lagers will probably be easier to, differentiate. But I bet some people would not be able to pinpoint the difference in some of these light beers.
I can tell Bud Light and Coors Light.
Yes. I think Coors Light's just lighter.
Miller, I don't know if I can do a taste test on, but I could definitely do Bud Light.
I feel like Miller's I don't know if this is the right word. Miller's the heaviest.
Yes.
For whatever that means.
Yeah.
It's just the word that comes out of my mouth, the heaviest. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The Carolinas hit the hardest. So, but I'm sure Bud Light still does well in, like the Bay Area or Michigan or, New York City. So we'll see how that plays out. And then lastly, on the corporate front, and I was totally unaware of this, we're back to the book banning, but we're doing this on a corporate level, and Target is once again in the news as they are refusing in-store sales. Now, I don't watch, believe it or not, I only actually watch like 2 or 3 pundits on TV, even though Stalker says I watch Fox News 24/7. I don't pay attention to the Glenn Becks of the world. I know everybody calls Mark Levin the great one, and he's had a hell of a career. It's not my kind of program. I respect what he's done. I agree with some of his stuff, but I don't consume Mark Levin content like I do, The Five or Jesse Waters or Tucker Carlson. But Target is now refusing in-store sales of Glenn Beck's book, which apparently he's got a new book out. But this comes weeks after the book ban on Mark Levin's publication was reversed.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, initially I'm thinking, well, that's kind of hypocritical. You're going to let Levin's book be, and to me, I mean, again, I hate bans of anything. And I remember this happened years ago. Remember back in the day where they had like the Walden bookstores,
of course,
in malls, and now it's the Barnes and Noble freestanding stores where they would not have certain books available, and you could only purchase them
behind the counter,
or even online.
Yep.
So now we're doing this corporate book, which if we've seen anything in the last couple of months, when you tell people we're taking something away, it makes them want it more.
These people are so dumb because if their goal is to make these people like Mark Levin and Glenn Beck and these guys go away, you're doing the opposite.
You're making them wealthier.
You're going to make their book sales go through the roof.
Yes.
And it's just like it's the Sideshow Bob thing, stepping on the rake. Like they never learn that this stuff doesn't work. It only makes it more popular.
Yes.
And it's just like if you don't like something or you don't want to consume something, ignore it.
Yes. Don't follow that person, block them, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
When we saw this a little bit, there was like some kind of, and I'm going to go see the movie finally this weekend, Sounds of Freedom. I'm going to go see it on Saturday, but we've heard that there was this, I don't know if it was a report or people were saying that, we're dealing with issues when it comes to the screening and viewing of Sounds of Freedom at select AMC theaters, and AMC tried to refute that story, which, again, I don't understand why AMC, and again, I try to think about this logically. If you're going to carry the movie in your theaters, whether you're AMC, IMAX, or Regal Cinemas, or whatever company is out there today, why would you want to do anything to hurt your own sales and your own admission and tickets? I mean, I don't know what the business model for the theaters is like. I don't know if they got to pay to carry the movie and then they recoup money based on sales or how it's set up. But if that's true, why are you shooting yourself in the foot, so to speak, if you're a movie theater? Why would you want to do that? Again, that makes zero sense to me. So people have the right to watch what they want, and if it's out in theaters, carry it, and let people go in and watch it. And again, I haven't seen. Dawn, you've seen it, right?
Yes.
You saw Sounds of Freedom?
Yes.
So is there anything in that movie that you can sit there and draw a conclusion from as to why there would be a motivation from AMC to make it difficult for people to consume it?
AMC denies it.
Yes.
And they were getting phone calls from people. And there is a demand now worldwide to see the film.
Mm-hmm.
And so AMC has said, hey, we've scrambled to put the movie in place. So whatever's going on, they're showing it. And there are more. When we saw it, the weekend we saw it, right when it came out, we only could find one local theater that on a Saturday had one showing.
What, probably like an awkward time?
In
2:50?
It was like I think it was a 7:15 p.m. showing.
Perfect timing.
On a Saturday in the movie tavern in Flowertown.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Montgomery County, so we found that one. We went to see it. And I can tell you the weird piece of this, I can't wait for you to see it. There's nothing at all political.
Right.
It's all about, really, it's focused on these two little kids who were kidnapped from Mexico and then, sex trafficked with sicko pedophiles.
Right.
Right. And then you learn all about this, that it's a worldwide phenomenon. It's been going on for years.
Of course.
In multiple administrations, has nothing to do with politics. And it's really about just opening up people's eyes that think about it. It's bigger than the drug trade. It's bigger than anything we could imagine. And it's happening. And the greatest consumers of this sick thing going on, Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
That's eek. So there's, what could it be? And that's why I'm looking at it going, you know what? Hollywood, first of all, they have a monopoly, but also they're loaded with pedophiles and perverts. So these pervies, I think we should just start saying, if you're against this movie, you're a pedophile.
Yeah.
We should just push back.
Well, that's what the left does. They just make sweeping generalizations about everybody, right? So
I can't wait for you to see it.
Well, I've heard it's a very low budget film. Like, this was not an A-list cast. This is not a Barbie production or any other big like Hollywood blockbuster. That it was kind of produced and created kind of low key, low rent, and it came out great.
But it's well done. They spent $14 million. They've made more than $100 million.
It's a good return on your
investment. So
investment.
You can do the math there.
Bidenomics.
Yeah. So Mira Sorvino plays the wife. So it focuses on, a Homeland Security federal agent who's involved in this kind of, that's his mission in life. And these federal agents who are dedicated to catching these creepy sicko predators of children realizes this, and then his journey. But they really focus on these two little kids that he meets the dad, and I think you can't imagine that kind of career.
Yeah,
just the stuff that these local cops and on a federal level, the sicko stuff they see.
Yep.
Ew.
Yeah. 855-839-1210. The phone number. 9 o'clock hour is on the way. The 5 craziest revelations from a Blockbuster report on CNN's potential sale. The details. Kayal and Company. Hour 4 coming up next.
Salute and pay tribute to the 1983 and 93 Phillies National League champs during Toyota Phillies Alumni Day, when the Twins are in town on Sunday, August 13th at 1:35. Grab your tickets now at phillies.com. Bring your smile for Coca-Cola Photo Night on Saturday, August 5th at 6:05 and take photos of your favorite Phils. Gates open at 4:05 and field access is limited, so be sure to arrive early. Order tickets now at phillies.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of their timeshares. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-798-4545. That's 800-798-4545. 800-798-4545.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes...
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
In Israel, thousands of doctors walk off the job and labor leaders threaten a nationwide strike after a law weakening courts passed. UPS reaches an agreement with 340,000 of its unionized workers averting a strike, and President Biden moves to establish a national monument honoring Emmett Till.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, QC Kinetics is truly helping people every single day here in the Philadelphia region and across the country with their amazing non-surgical treatments which repair and restore your damaged joint tissue. So don't give in to that constant joint pain. You got to take control with the help from my friends from QC Kinetics. They use the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your own body's healing agents, concentrating them, and putting them directly into the area where you're suffering the most with that agonizing pain. It's incredible. It's non-invasive, and QC Kinetics is using this approach that truly helps you take back control of your own body, relieving that horrible pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your aching back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs, no steroids, and no downtime. Summertime, it needs to be about just enjoying life, cherishing the memories while you make them. Golfing, hiking, sporting events, playing Frisbee on the beach, right, with the family, or just enjoying life. Take control now. Start living pain-free. Call now for your free consultation with QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. Just call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. Tell them Dolan sent you.
Heading down the shore? Download the free Odyssey app and take us with you. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Welcome back in. It is 9 o'clock straight up on a Wednesday morning. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Of course, you can get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us on YouTube. Dawn's Big 3 at 9 coming up in just a couple of minutes. Morning Mystery Movie Clip. What's on the cut sheet Part 2. All of that still ahead this morning. Looks like it's going to be a nice day out. Sun's starting to come up nicely, Dawn. Feeling good. Bring on that feels like 105. As if we think there's a difference between it feels like it's 105 and it's really 98. I'm ready for all of it.
Well, apparently because we have these heat islands in Philadelphia. That's the Inquirer has a story about this, where certain sections of the city you're going to feel even hotter than 105. And I think that's mostly because they don't have big trees or a lot of grass, things of that nature.
Okay.
Heat islands.
Heat islands. I like it. But and also, how about that study where we were talking about, the global warming and the climate change, and everybody saying, oh, well, now all these excess deaths. I mean, 9 out of 10 times people die more frequently during cold weather season than hot weather season. So, obviously, heat stroke, legit thing, heat exhaustion, fatigue, the whole bit, dehydration. But Give me 105 over 12 degrees any day of the week. I think I'm in the minority when I say that, but that's fine. I would much rather deal with a heat wave than subarctic temperatures. So how about this story when it comes to CNN? We've talked about the unraveling of that network, the drama, the chaos, the low ratings, the Don Lemons, the Zuckers and the Licks of the world, and the Caitlin Collinses of the world. But some of the stuff that's coming out from Variety is very interesting. There's an article posted called The 5 Craziest Revelations from the Blockbuster report on Zucker and Licht and CNN's potential sale. And they go through a couple of them. And I want to just skip over a few of these because 99 out of 100 people that are listening won't even know who some of these people are. But this one is interesting, and I think this name will resonate. Remember our resident fact checker who tried to tell you what was right and wrong throughout society for many years, Brian Stelter? The now unemployed Brian Stelter. So days before Licht's firing, we're talking about Chris Licht, who lasted, I think it was all of 13 months. Days before Licht's firing, a top executive sought the advice of Brian Stelter. That would be the equivalent of Greg Stocker firing me for whatever reason and getting ready to go through a major ownership change, and Stocker reaches out to me for advice. Why would you do that? What exactly qualifies? You think Sanjay Gupta is unqualified to talk about COVID and vaccines. What exactly does Brian Stelter know about running a major media news operation like CNN, if you want to still call them a major media news operation? So that was number one. They go on to say, in a bizarre twist of fate, Siegel reported that Brian Stelter, the well-known CNN host and media reporter who Licht fired soon after taking over, was consulted on whether or not Licht should be fired. So the guy that fires you gets consulted on whether the guy that fired you should be canned. That's an interesting one. Number two, Jeff Zucker apparently never let go is the bullet point. Siegel reported for Variety that Zucker long loomed large as Licht tried to reshape CNN into the network that David Zaslav wanted it to be. Less partisan, more news-driven, which is something we have talked about on this show, that if you're going to try to find your niche once again, and Dawn, you've mentioned many times about getting back on the ground, reporting live from the scenes, on the battlefronts. That's where CNN was great. Well, the other part of it is, if everybody's going to say, we really could use a third type of news out there. We don't need so much more left-wing stuff. The right wing has been covered. If you can play it down the middle and just focus on the facts, maybe there's a market for it. Apparently, that's what was the goal, yet a guy like Zucker never could seem to let go of that. And it's like, once again, I think people's agendas and egos get in the way of what could possibly be beneficial and succeed. But I know you've talked about this many times with CNN of, hey, get back to what you did in 1995. That's why you were really good at what you did.
Yeah, that's my opinion, that they should just...
I think it's accurate, too.
They still have a ton of great reporters that every once in a while you'll see them, if they go to... maybe the Ukraine.
Well, I'll tell you
that situation.
I'll tell you where great reporting was on the cut sheet. We played you the video and audio of the CNN reporter at the San Francisco Walgreens. They're there in the store filming.
Great point.
Like, that's the stuff that people want to see, as opposed to what you say, putting somebody behind a desk and railing on Trump for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But what you need in doing that is resources and money. Yes, okay. and when you cut newsrooms and you cut staff and you cut here and you cut there because your business model is failing, you have less people to do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
When you're paying exorbitant amounts of money to Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, I know they're both gone,
right.
But you get my point.
Which we'll get to Cuomo in a minute.
You have less money to do these type of man on the street type things that, to Dawn's point, is far more interesting than
Some would say that we have more staff at KYW down the hall than CNN has.
No, they still have a huge staff. But I will say so in America, you made me think of something. If they even did the reporting that you're talking about in cities and in the countryside across America, because I think that if you're doing local coverage, whether it's a small town, because in the city of Philadelphia, think about it. If you're in Port Richmond or you're in Chestnut Hill or you know what I'm saying, that's your small town, that your section of the city. And so if they covered that news in those cities, what's going on, or those towns, I think they would instantly be more popular because it's real, it's authentic.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as war coverage, which is really where they made their mark, to send correspondents and try to keep them safe in a place like Ukraine or wherever, Afghanistan, for example, it's very costly.
Yes, it is. And speaking of costly, let's get to Chris Cuomo, who used to make a pretty penny at CNN when he would lecture you during the pandemic. And then at 8:59, as he was signing off, he and Don Lemon would have their little buddy chats, and it would be all cool. And he'd pass the torch to Mr. Limon. But Chris Cuomo argues that Jeff Zucker, sacrificed his top host, which was, believe it or not, actually was Chris Cuomo, to try to keep his own job. Siegel ends her article in Variety by noting, and I think this is the most fascinating one from a host standpoint myself, by noting that Zaslav still must contend with Chris Cuomo's $125 million arbitration demand against CNN, which she dubs another Zucker-induced problem. And this is interesting as you're sitting there as an executive and you're trying to, let's face it, you're judged on your decision-making of talent and what shows end up being good or not. And here comes Cuomo, despite all the issues that were going on behind the scenes, and you've got something to the effect of $125 million that is up for grabs here and on the line, so to speak, which, if you think about it and you say, oh, man, these networks, they just print money. Nobody likes losing money, especially wealthy people. Because you know why wealthy people are wealthy? Because they usually don't lose their money. They're good with it. They make sound investments, or they're good at finagling the numbers in the books, which, if you think about it and you go to Fox, while everyone was still outraged, and it's died off, I think. It would be interesting to see actually how maybe we can get these numbers for tomorrow or the next time they're posted online, how that new Fox primetime lineup is going 9 days in.
I saw a headline yesterday. I didn't read it, but it apparently for the week it beat both MSNBC and CNN combined.
And as you said, Fox in the long run will be just fine.
Just fine.
Yeah, eventually people will get over it. But the point I was trying to make with the money is, Tucker Carlson, he's the number one rated show. He makes a lot of money. But then you factor in the Dominion lawsuit, and these things are motivating factors behind why networks do what they do, because any good business will do it. They look at it from a bottom line standpoint, and they're not in the business of losing money. So I think the Cuomo-Zucker story is fascinating because that was a total bleep storm when that all transpired.
But it shows, if you're talking the Variety write-up, and I think it's great that you called this to our attention. I had not seen this, and it's an incredible expose.
Well, Greg found it, to be honest.
Well, I mean, kudos to both of you, because it brings forth, politics at work.
Mm-hmm.
And this is supersized. I mean, television, like politics in D.C., it's ugly.
Yeah.
And so at this high level, when you think about Jeffrey Zucker, and I had heard rumors, and I had met Katie Couric back in the day because that was Katie's guy. And so Katie would, you think of Jody Applegate, who's married to Michael Kay, and you talked about him.
Yeah.
So Jody I think she is one of, if not the most talented anchor person I've ever seen. She's versatile. She's smart. She's quick. She's funny. And I am a huge fan of hers. She used to fill in for Katie Couric. And so Katie, destroyed that just boom, get rid of it, right? Because that's somebody who could take her job. And Jeff Zucker helped that happen.
Right.
That was always the story with her. And Jody went on to do work at Pix 11 and so on and so forth, but really talented and far more talented than Katie Couric ever could be, because she can work as a hard news anchor. She's just a versatile talent who's so smart and so funny and beautiful to boot.
Right.
And so what happened to her at NBC is, that's a shame to me, but that's the business. the business is surviving, and Zucker knows that. And so I'll just make this analogy. What Chris Licht needed to do, he came in, and I think he was doing things in earnest. I really do. But the problem is, much like Donald J. Trump, who was a political novice, Trump needed to get rid of the never Trumpers. He needed to do it. Everybody who I know who worked at every level within that administration that I know, just had a conversation with a friend just this past week about Trump. He needed to get rid of the never Trumpers. Chris Licht, he needed to get rid of those Zucker fans, right? But he was just trying to be nice and create a good business environment and so on and so forth. And he underestimated the power of those who will undermine you.
And he also became a part of the story. When we talk about, what was it, the Atlantic wrote that piece about him?
Right, but that was all driven by the Zucker, the pro-Zuckers and the never licked kind of guys.
Never licked.
Never licked.
There's a lot of guys out there that have been never licked.
We're talking about Chris Licht.
Yes.
L-I-C-H-T.
Yeah, not L-I-C-K-E-D.
I'm serious. Think about it.
I'm thinking about it right now, too, President. Oh, man. I'll snort for myself there. Put that on the board. All right, 855-839-1210. Our morning mystery movie clip coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes. Let's get to Dawn Stensland's Big 3 at 9.
It's the Big 3 at 9 on Kayal and Company.
Big 3 at 9 today. Hunter Biden we're awaiting his appearance. Some of the networks like Fox and NBC, to their credit, showing that court, and locally the NBC station. So we will watch which media covers this. But Fox and NBC have cameras outside the courtroom. Technically, this is a local story because Hunter Biden, son of President Joe Biden, is set to make his first court appearance in Delaware this morning, where he is, expected to plead guilty to these misdemeanor tax charges this morning, stemming from the years-long federal investigation into his tax affairs. So he is expected to appear before Judge Mary Ellen Noriega at 10 o'clock this morning. And I will point out to you that she is a Trump appointee. And so there's a lot of controversy about this. Hunter Biden is 53 years old. He has entered into a plea deal to plead guilty to these 2 misdemeanor counts of willful failure to pay federal income tax. There's a lot of talk about this because of some motions made in the courtroom as far as Hunter Biden. So I don't know if you want to get into that now, but I'll just put that headline for you that there are cameras outside the court. Locally, NBC 10 placed a local reporter outside the courtroom since early this morning. They did.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So is it getting the same media fanfare coverage as like Trump rolling in with the black SUV for his perp walk, so to speak?
Well, NBC is locally and nationally, they've placed cameras outside. I don't know, I haven't seen as much on the other networks, but we'll watch it.
It'll be interesting to see the spin that comes out of the cameras being put there. Let's see how they actually present it to their audience today.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
We should I'll evaluate that, and we'll definitely report tomorrow as far as what's going on.
Yes.
With regard to that. Number 2, I do want to talk about the funeral funerals taking place, and these are local law enforcement officers, and a tough time for our local law enforcement for sure. But we have some funerals. One was yesterday, and tributes pouring in for a local police woman who died, and this was not necessarily from a violent situation. So we have the first of 2 funeral services for a Philadelphia police officer who died of a medical emergency while on duty. So the one funeral was held last night at her family's church. Linese Hill Smith, she was 44, died 2 weeks ago after authorities said that she was found unresponsive in her patrol car parked in a South Philadelphia shopping mall. And she was most recently assigned to the department's 3rd district, a member of the force for more than 20 years, and was also married to a fellow Philadelphia policeman. And so a lot of tributes. Mom of 3, remembered as a woman of God, and was very involved in her church. And she was a member of Jones Temple Church of God in Christ. And so a lot of beautiful tributes to her and as well. So moving forward, we'll talk about the funerals and the tributes, but sometimes we don't talk enough about the mental impact on our police force. We're already down in numbers.
Yep.
And this struck hard at the hearts of our local law enforcement community.
Yeah, that's why I do what I do with Families Behind the Badge and any of those organizations that put the spotlight on the people that deserve it. They never get the spotlight.
Yeah, and you raised a ton of money.
We got one more donation last night. I got a random donation at like 9:30 last night for another $25.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And those donations, people can still make those donations.
Yep.
But I know that you were hearing a lot about this as you were riding bikes with officers and a lot of people in the community coming out, and all of that money that you raised and that they raised goes toward the families of the fallen or injured on the job. We'll take you to number 3. I have to talk about this heat wave because there are all these health warnings, so I'll make that my number 3. These heat warnings, excessive heat warnings in effect. On top of that, we do have these air quality alerts in our region, code orange, and health officials are putting out these warnings saying those fires and the smoke from Canada, it's coming down here. There was this weird haze this morning as we drove in the dark. The haze and fog has mostly cleared, but they're putting out the word that these are excessive heat warnings where it will feel as if it's well over 100 degrees today through Saturday. We won't get relief until Sunday when it's 83 degrees, clear skies, a beautiful day on Sunday. Until then, there are many medical institutions, National Weather Service putting out these warnings, especially if you're working outdoors, first responders, firefighters, construction workers, and for all of the different practices. I don't know if the Philadelphia Eagles, who reported yesterday for day 1, I don't know if they will amend some of the workouts outside. I know I can say to you that on a high school level, a lot of the high schools were bringing things indoors for football practice.
They'll go inside to the bubble inside the NovaCare complex probably.
So that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So be safe, baby, as we always say, as Mama Zioli says. That's Big 3 for Kayal and Company News Live.
All right. Thank you very much, Dawn. 9:20 on this Wednesday morning. Let's get to our morning mystery movie clip. Oh, no. Froze. The machine froze.
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Lines, embarrass yourself like that in front of all those damn people. Oh, you're drinking all night. Drinking again, 8 damn whiskey sours. Remembering your lines, I practiced them and now I don't look like I damn practiced them. You're sitting there like a baboon. Whiskey sour. I couldn't stop at 3 or 4, right? Why? Alcohol, drink too much, huh? Every night, that's it. That's it. You stop drinking right now, all right?
Think you know what it is? Be call at 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
Morning mystery movie clip. Our prize all week long, a $50 gift certificate to the Metro Diner. Metro Diner has launched a summer of waffles, an entire season devoted to the savory sweet breakfast classic for 5 weeks. How about that? 5 weeks. Guests can earn a dining discount and prizes by taking a summer waffle staycation. Why go to the shore when you can get waffles at their local Metro Diner and ordering up an array of hot off the iron treats? Visit metrodiner.com. Call or 12-855-839-1210. If you can identify that movie, you get the $50 gift certificate to the Metro Diner. And the movie we just played for you came out today, 4 years ago. There's your clue. Best of luck. See if we get a winner on the other side.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the new electric XC40 lease for as low as $487. An absolutely fabulous offer, $487. No sales tax for New Jersey residents. Monies due at signing are license fees and the first month's payment only. This is an incredible offer. Considering the electric XC40, now is the time. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo online or in person for a great selection. Our team looks forward to seeing you very soon.
you're invited to a private showing of the most important movie you'll see in retirement. The Baby Boomer Dilemma is a groundbreaking documentary from award-winning director Doug Orchard. Throughout the film, Nobel Prize winners, PhDs, and esteemed economists expose the cracks in the financial industry that have 401ks, IRAs, Social Security, and other retirement plans on the brink of collapse. After the movie, you'll receive an education that's unlike any other. Learn how to apply the solutions presented by these experts, which align with and validate our proprietary crash-proof retirement system, proven by over 5,000 consumers. Join us at the Falls at the Doubletree in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, August 16th, and let Crash Proof Retirement provide you the crucial information you need to avoid the baby boomer dilemma that's on the horizon. Registration is required. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Attention taxpayers, ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately, helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
So many listeners are enjoying beautiful, easy-to-maintain homes thanks to Rhino Shield, and you can too. Dom Giordano here with my good friend, the local owner of Rhino Shield. John, take it away.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield. For years, you've heard about our exclusive elastomeric ceramic house paint with the unheard of 25-year warranty. Today, I want to ask you, do you need to paint your home? Maybe even been putting it off for too long? If your answer is yes, then ask yourself if you want to paint it one last time, or if you want to be painting it again in 5 or 6 years. Rhino Shield can make your next paint job your last. Rhino Shield is waterproof, protects your home, is affordable, and looks great on any exterior surface. Let Rhino Shield show you how you can be done with frequent painting. Call us today at 484-406-5111 for a free consultation. That's 484-406-5111.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
For nearly 100 years, folks have trusted Blue Star medicated ointment to relieve the pain and itching of almost any skin irritation.
It works on my son's dry, itching feet and their jock itch.
I had this rash on my neck. Nothing worked until Blue Star.
Blue Star worked great on my ringworm without steroids.
My wife and I have been using Blue Star for years. It's never let us down.
Look for the white box with the Blue Star in the first aid section. Feel Blue Star work fast, or your money back.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Just don't do it. Just don't go another day climbing in and out of that unsafe, ugly bathtub. Today's the day to step into a new shower from PJ Fitzpatrick. The jacuzzi shower system from PJ Fitzpatrick features a low entry that means no more climbing over the tub. Surprisingly affordable, the jacuzzi shower system showcases elegant new walls, gorgeous fixtures, and PJ will haul out your old tub and moldy tiles and get it all done in just one day. Visit trustpj.com for your free design consultation.
If you speed, there's lots of sounds you might hear, like the sound of your vehicle crashing, because eventually, speed catches up with you. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Download the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. and take us along wherever you're going this summer. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Kayal and Company, 9:27 Wednesday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Oh, what a song. Yes. What's on the cut sheet, part due in about 10 minutes. What's on tap for the Dawn Show and who on Twitter today. But we have Marlene in Philly, and I believe she has identified the movie clip. Marlene, good morning. How are you? What was the movie we just played for you?
One of my favorite old-time movies, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That is correct, Marlene.
I love that movie.
Do you love waffles? Do you love waffles?
Of course.
Do you love the do you love the Metro Diner?
Of course, my favorite diner.
Exactly. That's exactly the answer we were looking for, Marlene. $50 gift card. It's all yours.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And Marlene, thank you for listening, and thank you for playing. $50 gift card, Metro Diner. 5 straight weeks of waffles. Valdez, go to Metro Diner for 5 weeks. You'll come back. You'll be $145. And your girlfriend will like it. All right, so how about this? Constipation leads to cognitive decline. How about that for a transition? Which will make sense if you've ever experienced. So according to this new study, the director of Global Science Initiatives, NBC's Christopher Weber, spoke to the I'll say this one more time. The director of Global Science Initiatives with the Alzheimer's Association. And one of the conclusions they have arrived at, although they do say, quote, we need more data to be confirmed of this, is that constipation can in fact lead to mental issues, such as cognitive decline. Quote, we know that it is essential for overall good health to regularly eliminate waste from the body. Quote, if that does not happen, we may retain toxins that negatively impact our health in a variety of ways. Although more research is needed, it is a fascinating start. All kidding aside, this could be a breakthrough in the field of dementia research. It's also a reminder of why fiber is an important part of any diet. So this might actually explain Joe Biden. This certainly explains my sister as a kid when we told you about her constipation issues. So maybe at like 9 years old, when she had too many hot dogs and buttered noodles, she had a cognitive decline for a third grader. But yeah, I mean, you got to get rid of the bad stuff in your body because believe it or not, and this is one of the most fascinating things I've always thought about. It is amazing that we get the lifespan that we do, considering all the crap we put in our bodies. I mean, it really is. There's some people that they smoke like a chimney for 40 years, and it's amazing they live to be 79 years old. There are people that drink like a fish. I mean, with all due respect to Donald Trump, the guy eats McDonald's way more than any human being probably should eat it. And he's great with the stuff that he's never smoked or he never drank alcohol, which is absolutely a factor in lifespan and longevity. But some of these people, and even when you think you're eating healthy and you're like, well, this only has 4 grams of fat and this is low carb, then you realize there's processed stuff. It really is amazing the tolerance level that our bodies have for what we consume.
Exclusive audio of Joe Biden on the can.
Okay.
Pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it.
It's a sin.
Is he trying to pass the stone? Yeah, well.
Pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it, pass it.
So I thought that story was great. So if you've ever been constipated and had some side effects, well, there you go.
Get some prunes.
Get some prunes. That is right. Which, by the way, prunes aren't bad. And I've never had to eat them for that reason, but I've had prunes.
Yeah.
It's a quality
they're good.
piece of fruit.
They're good for you.
They're good for you. And then lastly, this is an interesting story because I admit way too much publicly, but I probably shower too frequently. I usually shower twice a day.
Oh, my God, that's way too much.
My water bill's probably got to be off the charts. I've never really compared it to anybody else's water bill, but it can't be light. So I shower every morning to wake up because I get up at 4:20 in the morning, and then I will always shower again later after I go to the gym or I play golf, any physical activity. Now, I won't do a third shower just to relax before bed, but I do 2 showers a day. Well, ESPN A NFL analyst named Dan Orlovsky. He's really plastered all over ESPN the last couple of years. He's kind of a pain in the butt, but that's not so much about that. And he said this on the air, telling his coworkers and colleagues and co-hosts that he only showers 2 to 3 times per week.
Yeah,
that's what?
That's about right.
It is?
Sure.
I mean, I'm an admitted shower excessive water user and waster. I got it. But there's 7 days in a week.
Yeah.
So what do you shower, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday?
Are you asking me personally?
No, I don't understand. Like,
him. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe he doesn't do a lot of physical activity that requires you to be stinky.
But does he work? That's my question. Does he work out?
Well, I'm assuming he does. He's a pretty fit guy. He used to play quarterback in the NFL. I'm assuming he hasn't turned into a couch potato. But even if you don't do anything physical,
by the way, they're saying on the YouTube chat that he lives in Bluebell.
Who does?
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky's in Bluebell?
That's what they're saying on the YouTube chat, and I believe everything that is said in this YouTube chat.
If it's in the chat, it's got to be fact.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT.
Yes.
If you want to,
all right.
If you want your comments read in real time,
all right,
go over there right now.
So if I smell any like onions or random ripening of human beings, Orlovsky might be in my neighborhood. Sure. 2 to 3 times per week.
Well, to Dawn's point, what's the physical activity?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you come in and work an office job 9 to 5,
yeah.
Well, you say you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you work 9 to 5, you get home, you do the family thing. At 8 o'clock, you don't think 15 hours later your deodorant has worn off and you lift your shirt up and you might smell.
So you put on a little bit more deodorant.
See, I don't think that works. That's just a masking agent. That doesn't clean you.
For you, it doesn't work, but for him, it might.
Well, I need prescription deodorant. I mean, I sweat like a slob.
You do?
Disgusting.
Yeah, I'm a slob.
You're a disgusting human being.
You could say if you shave your armpits, because anything hairy, attracts. That's the sweat.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the hair,
right?
Maybe he shaves everything, so it's less stinky.
Yeah, but see, this is like the whole shaving thing. Like when I started shaving my head 5 years ago, they're like, "So do you use shampoo on your head still?" I go, "Yeah, I use shampoo." What do you think? I don't wash my head because I don't have hair?
Well, you don't need shampoo though. You could use another product.
You could just use your body wash that you use on your body. I'm like, well, no, I use the shampoo. There's a difference between the two products. Just because the hair's not there anymore, I still have the little follicles.
The grossest one is
Wait, hang on. You just said something interesting.
What?
You still wash your hair without having hair.
Yes, I still wash my head. I buy shampoo for my head, and I use body wash on my body and my face. I mean, am I a rebel? I've never. I mean, I don't know. What's the bald?
So I don't know that.
What's the bald-headed community? We need a bald-headed poll question. Is it acceptable to use body wash on your head if you shave your head? I'm assuming it. I mean, it's better than not washing it at all.
Or something that is good for the scalp.
Yeah. Right.
So it depends on the shampoo.
Yeah, you get a good lather, a good rinse, and it's relaxing.
Yeah.
You massage your head while you're doing the whole bit.
It's actually not good for you to wash your hair every day.
I've heard that it dries it out.
Which is maybe why you don't have hair.
Right. Well, that and the genetics.
So the thing about it is I shower every day, but I don't wash my hair every day.
Yeah, my sister's that way, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't wash my hair every day.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But that's just it. You don't have to use all that soap. Even if you shower twice a day, you could just jump in and you can do a rinse without all the soap that's drying.
Tuna Fangs on the YouTube chat says he's bald and he only uses body wash.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll cut back on my budget then. It's a good idea. I could use that. 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah, we've got, so I got this dynamic working with Orlovsky. And then, occasionally you go down the hall here at Artist, you go to the bathroom, and it smells like a Macy's perfume section. I got the best of both worlds. One guy smells like a bloomin' onion, and then the other guy, he's all Tommy Hilfigered up.
I will admit, at 5 days a week when I am here, I shower every day. No question in my mind. There's never a day I miss when I don't wash my hair every day, but I shower every day. Weekends,
I mean, occasionally there might be a day, like on a weekend or if I'm on vacation or, during the holidays where, with family and friends and you go to bed or whatever and you go to bed, you get out of your family gathering clothes and you don't shower that night. Okay, I got that. That happens from time to time.
But does it count if you have like the spring dance hot tub? If you're in the hot tub, do you have to shower afterwards?
I say that like if I spend a weekend day in the pool, like I'm not showering that night. That was my
that chlorine smell all over you.
I don't keep the chlorine super high in my pool. No, I'm serious. Like I don't know.
You have a pool boy too, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Cabana boy.
The cabana boy. Yeah.
No, I think this whole thing of showering every day, I think is like.
But I'm trying to figure out.
It dries your skin out. I don't know.
Well, that's why they create moisturizers and lotions post shower, and there's a whole, cosmetic line out there.
Jesus wants to know if I use shampoo and conditioner on my beard. I have not, no. But I do. I don't use conditioner as much as I should, probably.
I mean, this to me is hygiene. So this is no different than some, like if Dan Orlovsky was saying, yeah, I only brush my teeth every other day.
Well,
Like,
that's
what?
no, that's different.
Why is it different? It's a smell for you, and it's a
there's like germs and crap in your mouth.
Well, you don't think you have germs on your skin if you don't wash yourself?
Well, a lot of those oils and good germs on your body are a defense mode.
I might need to do a big take on this tomorrow. I don't think we're going to be able to encapsulate all my thoughts here in the next 90 seconds.
You have to look up like all these these bug bites and ticks, and the CDC is issuing all these warnings about the stuff they carry. And so, if you have the proper if you don't have bug screen on all the spray all the time, but your body produces natural defenses and oils. So if you're washing too much, you're washing away your body's natural defenses.
I've heard that.
Eric the Red on YouTube or on Twitter agrees with you, Nick. He says people against multiple showers or even daily showers are disgusting. You need to research how much dead cells and other impurities your body pushes out. I'm a twice daily guy and proud of it.
Well, just think of the two different dynamics. If you're a business professional, you're certainly going to want to shower at least once a day because you're in a corporate setting.
Absolutely.
And then if you're the rugged, skilled laborer out there and you're dirty and you're filthy and you've been climbing ladders all day and hammering nails, I mean, I think you'd want to come home and get a shower.
Well, that's why we can't judge Dan Orlovsky, whatever his name is, because we don't know what his daily regimen is.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe he goes down to the crick.
Crick
with a bottle of
crick
with a bar of soap and jumps in and
so you say crick, huh?
I don't.
I like creek personally, but
of course I'm just I do this on purpose.
Oh, yeah,
I don't say Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well,
I don't do that.
Look, you're gonna get emails. I'm just saying.
I don't care. I've gotten many emails. I'll get many more. I'm fine. I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
That's right. And you shower every other day.
I don't shower. No, 5 days a week. When I'm here, I will shower.
Yeah.
I'm a little lax sometimes on the weekends.
You come in. You are very presentable in the work environment.
Of course I am.
I give you that. Absolutely.
I am. That's my job.
That's right.
What I'm supposed to do.
That's how you become a corporate shill. All right. 9:40. Let's get to what is on the cut sheet, part 2.
What's on the cut sheet?
Part 2. Yes, part 2 indeed. So this is from Libs of TikTok. This trans activist had a nuclear meltdown for being called a sir at a Taco Bell. You talk about mental health crisis.
Yes.
I don't know if this person is doing this for attention or if they're really this offended because they were called sir. I mean, listen to this person talk.
Yep.
And if you're not seeing them and you go through the drive-thru, it's like, can I have a bean burrito?
Do I have the gordita crunch?
Yeah. I think I would say sir too. We talk about this all the time. I try and be respectful. I say yes, ma'am, yes, sir, whenever I'm talking to somebody. My wife says all the time, like, stop doing that. Somebody's gonna call you out for it because you're gonna misgender somebody, and they're gonna.
Yeah.
And I'm sad that I can't.
It's not my responsibility to figure out what you are.
I agree with you.
Now, once it's well known and it's like common knowledge, okay, then get it right out of respect for somebody. But it's not me. It's not up to me to keep guessing what mode and mindset you're in on a specific day.
It saddens me because I was taught to be respectful to other people, and I say that yes sir, yes ma'am out of respect for people, especially people that are older than me.
Yep.
And I feel like I can't do that anymore because people may react like this person did.
Yep.
This is I don't know if I told you I had this, Daniel. So if I didn't, I'm sorry. This is a trans activist reacting poorly because they were misgendered at Taco Bell.
Popeye's Chicken needs to know that is not okay. their employees to be like calling trans women sir.
All right, so apparently this was Popeye's chicken. It was mislabeled as Taco Bell.
Well,
so,
Popeyes is going to see a boost in business.
Yeah. If you're watching right now, you have to see the video.
It's Carrot Top.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. It's a.
Is that Jen Psaki?
It's a redhead, and it talks like this. Anyway, we go on. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT to see this video.
To like intentionally like with me after I did something he doesn't like. I heard the motherfucker call me sir. Okay? And he can lie to save his ass because they're always so spineless and weaselly. But the world will let you know at least this. Yeah, if you do this, if you go and you accost trans people in public, we can hold you accountable. We can just make a batshit say that some of us will.
Wow.
So we always hear that the trans community is under attack. I would like to just compile all of these and play this for the judge and the jury and say, is the trans community under attack, or are they the unhinged ones going after us that are just kind of living our life and not sure where exactly you're going to blow up on us at?
By the way, Daniel, I don't know if you can do a freeze frame of the last shot there where this person takes off their glasses and the eyebrows. You have to see the eyebrows are like, it is this look at that. Look at that.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
They're like looks like two little caterpillars.
And look at the teeth, Dawn. I mean, this is an ugly woman.
Yeah. That makes me yearn for Jen Psaki.
I can you imagine?
No.
First of all, if they went through a drive-through or whatever and they talk like that, I would have said serve too.
Yeah, and the purple or the lavender scarf around the neck. I don't know if you pull that up as like a COVID shield or.
Look at Daniel.
Daniel, good job. Daniel, yes, get in there closer. Dig, baby.
Daniel doing great work.
And the truth is, if she was smiling and had a nice expression, but it's the weird resting face expression that's very negative.
I don't know. This dude got hit by the ugly stick.
Hey, this guy makes Laura Ingraham look pleasant.
Oh,
that's nice. Now, my point, somebody said, who were you talking about that had their lips done? And somebody just DM'd me. The deal is that with Laura Ingraham, a woman's got to do what a woman's got to do, okay? But she did have her, the lips are really done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, these people with it, they're unhinged lunatics.
And what is there? There's got to be some sort of like mental release of doing this and posting this. I don't know if that makes that person feel better for the next 20 minutes, like a reaffirmation of people liking it and sharing it or talking about it. But like, dude, you're so angry.
Yeah.
Okay, you went to the Popeyes, not Taco Bell.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The clip said Taco Bell, so I just assumed. It was like I was so busy beeping it that I didn't hear them say, him say.
And imagine being in that drive-thru, right? Like you're working, you're making $12.25, and this is what you got to deal with.
Yeah,
really?
I know.
I'm like, hey John, I'm gonna quit. On second thought, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Here, man the window.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is what a bizarre. These reactions to things for being misgendered. That's what I said. Like we're in the midst of this empire collapsing.
Yeah.
Because when people have enough free time and are so bored that they get so triggered by being misgendered, we need a world war or something.
One thing I can absolutely say with 100% certainty is I have thick skin, legitimately and figuratively. And Wayne Bonfigliero said that this morning. You took a good ribbing. You took it like a good sport. I get people that tweet me expletives and vulgarities and rip me, you're a effing moron, and I never get bothered by that.
Yep.
Yet this person is offended by the fact that somebody thought that they were a female or not a man or whatever's going on here.
Daniel with the
oh god.
Can we put Daniel? Can we because we have to take one more break before we end the show? Can we keep that screen, that freeze frame up during the commercial break? It's just a picture of this person's face and their eyebrows. It's hysterical. Can we do that, Daniel? Absolutely. All right, cool. Thank you.
Now, the eyebrow could go about a total of 1.5 inches. What is that? They're 2 centimeters.
Yeah, they look like caterpillars.
Little caterpillars.
Yeah,
little bugs.
Yeah.
Look like 2 stink bugs crawling on their face.
Dawn, if you're going to put that in like that, don't you just either shave them all off or put them all in? Like, why is it just half like that?
I don't know. It's
She looks like Hitler.
It's got that little the short stash look.
Weird.
Yeah. All right.
Man, there's nothing remotely compelling about this person.
So hold through the commercial break, and you can look at this for the entire break.
Let's leave it there. Talk amongst yourselves and stare at eyebrows.
There you go.
All right, that'll do it for the Cut Sheet Part 2. What's on tap for the Dawn Show and Who on Twitter today is still on the way. It's Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Summer is the perfect time to call Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy. Does your child or grandchild need more of a challenge? Now's the time to make that call to Kathy Ganna at New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope founder Kathy Ganna, pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed at New Hope Academy. There's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call now for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy now, 800-300-0003.
Hey, it's quarterback Jalen Hurts and Window Nation's Harley. You know what really hurts?
What's that, Jalen?
Aside from getting sacked by a 300-pound lineman, it's paying too much for new windows. That's why you should call my team, Window Nation.
Get 2 free windows for every 2 windows you buy, plus no payments until 2025. That could save you thousands of dollars.
You know what else hurts? Running out of time when you could have scored. So call my friends at Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit online at windownation.com.
You'll make the perfect call for your home.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years.
He was in big trouble.
We're going to take your house, garnish your pay.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm, and rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau.
I don't owe the IRS anymore. It was because of Optima Tax.
Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-956-4775. 800-956-4775.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Being a baseball play-by-play broadcaster demands a blend of learned mechanics, intense preparation, and a calm sense of entertainment. How hard is it to do this job? Let's talk to the ones who do it. This is Matt Spiegel. My new podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, will bring those conversations to you as the best working and former broadcasters tell you why and how they do it. New episodes come every Thursday all summer long. Follow The PBP, Voices of Baseball, on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Cherry Hill Volvo. At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the new electric XC40 lease for as low as $487. An absolutely fabulous offer, $487. No sales tax for New Jersey residents. Monies due at signing are license fees and the first month's payment only. This is an incredible offer. Considering the electric XC40, now is the time. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo online or in person for a great selection. Our team looks forward to seeing you very soon.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
In Israel, thousands of doctors walk off the job and labor leaders threaten a nationwide strike after a law weakening courts passed. UPS reaches an agreement with 340,000 of its unionized workers averting a strike, and President Biden moves to establish a national monument honoring Emmett Till.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
If you speed, there's lots of sounds you might hear, like the sound of your vehicle crashing, because eventually, speed catches up with you. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Tell you my privacy. How about you? Have you noticed those creepy trackers anytime you're searching for something? And does it feel like maybe somebody's watching, spying on your emails? Well, that's why years ago, when I found out about DuckDuckGo, and they're a local company, not left coast, they're local. And in fact, I've met the CEO, some of the researchers who work for DuckDuckGo and helped create it. It's a browser just like Chrome, but way better because it's private. It blocks those creepy trackers. It comes with DuckDuckGo Private Search, which is, like Google, but way better because it does not spy on your searches. And it's available everywhere, just like everything else, Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac. You got to download DuckDuckGo today for free in the App Store, or you can always visit duckduckgo.com. So it's known for privacy. It's popular for privacy. And if you think you have to pay for it, no, it's free. And if I can download it, you can too. It's easy. One download, DuckDuckGo keeps your searches and your browsing activity more private. It comes with email protection that keeps your email more private too. So please, you got to do it. Really. Those hidden third-party trackers, they lurk, did you know this? On 85% of the most popular websites that you're looking at. And trackers can follow you around the web and then auction off, your personal data to advertisers. As a parent, as a mom, I think about safety of my kids. So since they were younger, that's the only thing that's allowed on their phone. It's DuckDuckGo all the way. To protect your kids, your grandkids, you got to do it. DuckDuckGo. So download it today, free in the App Store, or visit duckduckgo.com. Do it today.
Don Stensland this morning at 10. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
9:54, winding things down here on a Wednesday morning. Kayal and Company. We'll find out who won Twitter today in just a moment. 6 minutes out from the Dawn Show, and we find out what the great Dawn Stensland has lined up at 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, we'll tell you about a vote last night in one of Pennsylvania's largest school districts in Bucks County, and look at the way the media is covering it and portraying it. A lot of lies about a big vote at the school board level. So I'm going to get into that, and this is Bucks County, and you want to hear this, all right? Mm-hmm. We will also talk about the latest developing stories, and of course, with an eye on Hunter Biden, will we see him walking into the local court, and we'll cover all of Hunter Biden's sweetheart plea deal, as they're calling it. So we've got some great guests who are lined up. 11 a.m., our friend Jimmy Fallon, Foxx Across America host. Okay. And we love him. We know him. Jimmy Fallon is going to join us at 11 o'clock. Sooner than that, at 10:05, after I update you on some local headlines and what's going on, Kate Lincoln Goldfinch, who is the owner and CEO of Lincoln Goldfinch Law. She's an expert on immigration law. So we'll talk about what's happening on the southern border. We've heard a lot about those buoys that have barbed wire on them in the Rio Grande and so on and so forth. A lot going on with lawsuits. Yeah. So we'll check in with Kate on all of that.
So the ones Greg Abbott put in there to prevent people from coming in because this country can't do its job, and now this country's mad about Greg Abbott doing that.
Yes.
That story, yes.
So we'll get from her immigration lawyer, eyes. We'll get that one.
Okay.
There's so much going on. We're going to cover it all.
All right, Dawn Show just about 5 minutes out as we wrap it up with Who Won Twitter today.
Who won Twitter?
The fourth floor stall wins Twitter. I didn't realize this. He says Biden comes in here just to sit. So yeah, constipation does contribute to mental decline.
Pass it.
All right, well done out of the fourth floor stall. Always some good commentary and content from that Twitter account. That'll do it for us on this Wednesday. Stay tuned. The Dawn Show is coming up next. We're back tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. If you thought